there on the corner of that door.
Back in days, no matter what, no matter what, you get live days, you don't lie on Saturday, like a Saturday. People fighting. Yeah, that's off the head, baby.
Oh, nice.
Oh, speaking of which, hey Ryan, when you gonna finish your verse?
I got a new verse now.
Okay, son. He's gonna get the chain at California when they go out.
Yeah.
Go to the bathroom. The bathroom is straight down to your right.
I'm the newest member on the Rockefeller team.
Did you guys?
What now? I'm the newest mission.
The
I'm the
president was
newest
here
member
yesterday.
of the Mission Vision team.
Did you guys see the memes?
Not Mission Vision.
So they had a picture, and it
No,
was
that's
like
his name,
these two older like white people,
Mission Vision.
and they had the like the blacks.
D1? No, I'm talking about D1. I'm
That's
talking
what I'm
about
saying.
Oh
What's the
yeah,
name?
I
Careful
was
what
already
you
on
jump.
the table. Okay, so anyway, they had this is older than people. They had
I'm
black
talking about
fruit,
what's the name?
they had a shirt. They had shirts called that said Black Fruit Trump, and they were like smiling in a photo, and there was black people behind them looking at them like. And so the caption was like on them it was like Georgians. In the back it was like Atlantis. It was like, I was dying.
Let us stray. What we want to start off with? Who?
I don't hear about it. I don't hear about it.
T.I.?
I voted
Okay.
something.
Well, why'd you say it like that?
That's what
Yeah.
he said.
I'm like, what?
It's like, wait a minute.
That's what he said. It's the
The
grossest.
sound is very low.
Grossest
I'm
topic
about to
ever,
start.
bro.
What is?
I don't even want to mention it, man.
Talking about his daughter.
Yeah.
So gross.
Are y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me that it's Christ-like. If you
You swapped it?
and you're singing that it's Christ-like.
Hey, yo, cut the music. Hey, yo, I interrupt your daily scheduled broadcast to let you know you're in the field with the Trackstarz. This is one of the loudest hip-hop radio shows on the face of the planet.
Yeah, it's about that time, you already know. Turn the speakers up, man, it's time to start the show. Sean Tanner, Ryan Righteous, DJ Jeremiah. We bringing the heat, man, this joint be fire like, bruh. We in the field, we in the field, bruh. We in the field, we in the field. Just put it in work, we raising the bar. Tuned in to the Trackstarz.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. What's good?
All right, for all things Trackstarz, make sure you visit www.trackstarswithaz.com. This podcast is sponsored by the MidtownBridge.com, the Midtown Bridge Church. Make sure you check it out, man. You're in the Atlanta area. You want some good fellowship. Go by. The current sermon right now is Lift. You can be in the building. Get that good word, all right?
Okay. So I was convinced to do this topic. One of the grossest topics I've ever heard in my life. So,
And it's your father.
yeah, especially now.
Yeah.
See how weird it is.
Now that you're a father.
So T.I. has some interesting controversy. Wasn't it recently he just said that cancel culture is fake? I saw that headline a couple weeks ago.
Maybe.
Anyway, he's about to find out.
I don't think that's that bad.
Okay. So he was on a show. Can't remember the name. You know the name.
I can read it. I can go into it.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so T.I. was recently on the Ladies Like Us podcast, and he basically said that he admitted going on annual visits with his daughter to her gynecologist. Deja Harris is his 18-year-old daughter, and he wants to know if her hymen is intact. Right? And that just sounds weird and wrong for all the wrong reasons. But basically, he's trying to promote to make sure she stays a virgin. Right? But she's in college. She's away, so she's doing her own thing. And she's definitely not feeling her dad's comments. She is actually liking and commenting on her dad's critics. So it's interesting that, she would even have this be something of a discussion, but it is right now. And it's just weird for so many reasons, right? The first reason why it's weird is because T.I. has been known to make music for years that do not promote abstinence. They don't promote purity. They don't promote any of that, right? And so growing up in a household where you're looking at T.I.'s track listing and you're his kid, you're like, well, you talk about all this stuff. You did all this in your early teens, even as a young adult, which she's a young adult now. You got all these different things that you've promoted. How is it now okay for T.I. to say it's a double standard and he doesn't want his children to do it, right? That doesn't make any sense. And so I think that's where a lot of the backlash and the controversy is coming from, is the fact that this is T.I. of all people that's making this statement.
Is it okay? So is people mad about that he's made where you're coming from, or mad about that? Okay, I'm sorry. Are they mad about that he's taking his daughter to the gynecologist, like to do that? That's one. Or the second one, or another one, is the double standard, because there's another clip of him talking about his son and his son like possibly having sex, and he's saying to himself like, "Hey, I know it's a double standard, but I'm happy for my son." You know what I mean? Like, so is that, or is it coming from the perspective you're just saying about people calling him a hypocrite because he won't do that to other people's daughters? Or is it all three?
I think it's all three. I mean, I think it's all three, because I'm sitting on the side where, you know, I think that if you promoted music to me to entice me to do something at an early age or to do something wrong, why is it all of a sudden a bad thing for you to allow your child to be exposed to the same thing?
Do you think cancel culture is thinking that, or you think people with morals and values are thinking that?
I think first of all, this is just weird, right? Like, I could see if his daughter was 14 and he's taking her to the doctor and they maybe say we have some communication issues and there's no trust between us, so he puts her on birth control. I've heard that happen with several women, young ladies, mothers that do that with their young daughters that they can't communicate with. That makes sense to me a little bit more than her being 18. She doesn't even have to legally disclose her medical records with him. She didn't even have to have him in the office, right? He doesn't even have the right to be there. So if he is there, in some way, I guess she's consenting to letting this happen. But it's just weird, because this could all mean, this just means you don't trust your kid. And you could always have like a conversation with them to.
I think it means you don't trust yourself. Like if you did a decent job instilling values in your daughter, and especially godly values, then you have somebody else to check that for you, right?
Yeah.
you got God in heaven to check up on that for you. Why are you doing it? So it just shows that he doesn't trust his own parenting. That he has to be that all up in it to feel good about himself.
Yeah.
Have you seen the memes? All up in it. Weird, man.
Oh, we're Christians. I think the thing for me personally is, I don't think T.I. cares about him as a musician giving off what he gives off to the people.
You should.
He should, but I don't think he cares. So that's why I'm coming from that perspective of, that's why I'm asking you, like, is this a moral value situation, or is it a double standard situation, or is it just a nasty situation? Or is all three of them?
It's all three.
Okay, so, because to me, and this is where we go back and forth on the phone, was I was saying, like, as a man of a household, whatever's going on in his household, we could voice our opinions. Like, somebody told me that, my wife told me that, you can voice our opinions, doesn't mean he's going to accept it. You know what I'm saying? He could be like,
I don't care if he accepts. The point is that I think people are saying this out loud to make sure, just in case any of you other Negroes think that this is okay.
Yeah.
This ain't okay. Don't do this.
Well, okay, to make sure your daughter is still a virgin, I think the question will be is, if they go and she's not a virgin, what's the situation going to be then?
No, that's going to be a surprise that I think she wants him to find out that way.
I think going at all is weird. Like, who cares? Like, if you're at that point, it's too late. You already lost.
I'm gonna have to trust my kids, man. I'm gonna have to trust them and know that me and my wife.
So let's say if you guys are at you're believing that you talk to your kid and they're saying everything, the right things that you want to hear. But let's say on the day of the wedding, and the bride of the not the best man, but the best lady or whatever, I forgot what they call it. Bridesmaids. Yeah, she gets up, she does the toast and is like, I remember the first time you told me you lost your virginity. Would that be a shocking to you guys, like right there and there, like?
First of all, I hope that doesn't come out. Like, that'd be terrible.
Like,
for you to
she's
do to your
making a
friend.
toast, like, we went to such and such.
Are you
and
making the argument that you want to know first?
I'm just saying, I think for a parent, and I'm not speaking, but I'm just thinking I'm thinking about my mother. Like, as a parent, you would want to know that before anybody else knows that.
Why?
Because it's like, as a parent, you like, at least I know where I am and where I could work from versus years later finding that out later.
Honestly, don't want to know that. Like, so here's the thing. Like, I never had that conversation with my parents. They just assumed that I was a virgin when I got married, right? And the reason why I say we had the conversation, but we had those conversations where they knew what I was about.
Yeah.
They knew that, I was not trying to. They knew I was living a God-honoring life, right?
Yeah.
I was living my life for Christ. So they just assumed if you're living your life for Christ, hopefully you're doing all the right things.
But that doesn't mean that
you're also a man.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about
Yeah,
you.
yeah. but what I'm saying is, my late father, we had those conversations, and I asked him. I said, "Did you wait until you were married?" And he was like, "No," and he was like, "And I don't expect you to either." Right? And that was before my dad became a pastor. And when he became a pastor, we never had that conversation again because I think we both were on just this spiritual place that was a little bit more mature.
So why is there a difference? Why do fathers not care if their sons have sex, but they care if their daughters do?
Because
is the assumption that if it's my son's kid, I don't have to see that kid. If it's my daughter's kid, I'm gonna have to see that kid every day.
nah, it has nothing to do with that.
Is that the assumption? It's
No.
The assumption is the woman is gonna have to take care of this kid. The guy could go wherever he wants.
No.
That's
It's
what
not
we're
even
dealing
about
with,
them
right?
getting pregnant.
Okay.
For me, it's not about them getting. For me, I think it's more of
So you
guys.
invite, so if
Guys
you knew,
see their daughters as their little angels,
That's
man.
true.
Like it's a picture of innocence. So and then you feel some kind of way if you do find out about it and you got to see this dude, right?
he walking in the house,
You always got something to say. I mean, even there's some guys I know that say they struggle with their father-in-laws. Like, he didn't want me to ask her for it. So imagine if a man says no to you asking for a woman's hand in marriage, but then you took all the goods before
But
you even got a
why
chance to
don't
ask.
you have the same feeling about your son?
I'm not saying I wouldn't. I would probably. I don't have a son, so you know what I mean. I want my children to live God-honoring lives. I want my children to live God-honoring lives, so that's my thing.
Let's be real, man. I think the double standard is if for a man, some saved, some unsaved. Some men feel like if my son is quote unquote doing his thing, they're proud of it. And the sad part is that you're proud of it. Like you're proud that your son is
Isn't
See,
it weird though?
there's a problem there. You got to unpack what proud means.
proud,
right?
meaning like your son is
out
like
here conquering these women
Yeah.
that you are mad about happening to you.
So
You're
yeah,
excited that
for
your son
sons
is doing to
doing
other
that,
dads what you don't want to happen to
to
your
me, to me, this feels a lot like the father who lives his athletic dreams through his son. His all-state running back football running back. That's what it is. It's like either you were passed over as a kid, or you didn't do well with women. You had this nervous tick about you. Now you got this son with swag. He's pulling girls left and right. Hey, Dad, meet this girl. Hey, Dad, meet this girl. And you kind of sitting back like, he learned it from somewhere. He didn't get it from me. But so I think it's like that. Like you're this star athlete, and you got you had your career cut short by injury or something, and now you got a son that's
marriage
out
an
there
injury?
doing it. No. I'm saying you had your career cut short.
Career
like, I know
ending.
somebody. No, seriously.
well, I gotta put this banner up.
Seriously. I know somebody who
I got the jacket in the closet.
had an injury in college, right? And both his sons are looking like prospects for the NFL right now, and he couldn't
You're
be
taking
more
the sports
excited.
member. It's too
You
far.
don't see the acronym, but
So
just saying.
the problem is that I think this is low key guilt. I think every guy knows that when they're with their guys and non-Christian, non-purity focused people, this is a area of pride. Oh, yo, I got that girl. I got that girl.
Yeah.
But I think deep down inside your heart, you know this is wrong. So when you have a daughter, it hits you that, oh crap, these are the people I was talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about somebody's daughter.
yeah.
So I don't understand why it's not connecting that. If I feel so strongly about this, why don't I feel strongly about everyone else's daughter? Why is your daughter special? Your daughter's not special.
Because it's T.I.'s daughter.
So what?
You get what I mean? Like
These guys don't care if it's his daughter.
They don't. But
They'll
in
do whatever he
T.I.'s eyes,
wants.
it's like I am T.I.
I don't care what he thinks. My
No,
point
no,
is
I
that
get what you're
deep
saying.
down in your heart, you know this ain't right. So why we keep bragging about it?
But I think going back to what I'm saying is he probably feels this is my little girl, and I want my little girl to not see nobody like me or none of my friends. I want her to see somebody totally different. So that's why I want to make sure she finds the right guy.
And aren't you telling on yourself if you feel that way, that I want somebody better than me for my daughter?
Yay and nay, because I think yes, because at the point is you don't know how he was raised. I think that's another thing. You don't know how he was raised to. I know for a fact. I remember my father telling me this. Like I remember telling him like I'm gonna be married to one woman and that's gonna be it. He's like, no, you won't. I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, you won't. I mean, God rest his soul, but he was like, you just don't understand right now. And I'm like, in my teenage years, telling him this. So I'm thinking from a standpoint of certain times, depending on how you was raised and who was around you, those standards of what they was trying to show you as a man, that's what they were showing you. You don't know how to be no man. So once you get a little girl or a girl come in your life that's like your daughter, you're precious around her. You like, I'm making sure that this is not, nobody's gonna do what I've been doing to other people.
Once you make that realization, you need to start talking out about what you did too. Like, you know what I just realized? My daughter's precious. She shouldn't be treated that way. I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm gonna start telling other guys not to do that. I'm gonna tell my sons not to do that. You need to have a full revelation if you're gonna be like that.
I think we're putting values and morals on people who claim they have values and morals. I don't think they do have values and morals. I think they just feel like they think what is right is right.
This
and what
is just
wrong
common
is wrong.
sense now. Like, forget values and morals. If you feel this way about your daughter, just for a second, imagine how that girl's dad feels.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for him, he's probably thinking like, I can't speak for how you raising your daughter. I'm speaking the way I raise my daughter. Even as for me,
what it shows me is that you fully expect her not to be a virgin. That's what it sounds like.
The
I
problem,
fully
don't
expect,
trust- or
I
he
fully
trusts his
expect she's
raising.
not gonna be. So let me do as much as I can to delay it as long as possible. That's what you're basically admitting. Instead of what should be the standard is purity across the board for your sons, your daughters, everyone else's sons and daughters.
Well, he can't
That's
do
the
that
standard.
if he's not a believer, then he's probably not pushing that. Like, that's not a general message to push. But I think one of the issues that I'm really finding in this whole situation is the fact that he is essentially saying, I don't want you to really date anybody like me, right? Like 2.0 just showed me a song lyric where he was like, I was conquering it. I was killing it from the age of 15. That was who I was. And so to me, it's like, you're now deciding that you don't want your daughter to date you or anybody like you, right?
Exactly what
But then the dudes are probably thinking in themselves like, I'm listening to your dad's music, right? I'm hearing the old cuts and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be a surprise to him, and I think this is bad for him, because any child that's feeling embarrassed like this, any child that's going through this scrutiny, if they don't have their mindset made up that they're doing this for another purpose, they can do this out of spite. You know what I mean? It could turn really ugly for him, just being that way. But I think this is a message to all parents that when you are thinking about your life in its current state, think about the future for your kids. Even if you don't have kids right now, think about some of the things you've done, some of the mistakes you've made, some of the things you're currently saying or doing right now that you don't want on social media, right? The pictures, the images, things that you're saying about the opposite sex. Just be careful, because one day, that stuff may live on forever on social media, and one day your grandkids may see it, and it's going to be a reflection of what you want your legacy to be for them.
Yeah, I just all I can do is look back in my past and what helped motivate me to remain a virgin till I was married. And it wasn't my parents checking on me and hounding me. It was a true realization that God loved me, wanted the best for me, and had a plan for my life. And I didn't want anything to derail that. That was my motivation. Not somebody looking at all my stuff and checking on me and all that kind of stuff. What you got, man?
If I might,
add a different perspective.
Sure.
I'm not sure what's going on in Mr. Harris's life, but it would seem as though recently, the last couple of years, maybe 5 or 10 or so, he's had some kind of spiritual awakening to where it seems like his motives, his outlook on life has adjusted just a bit. And so I'm thinking, what if this is him trying to make up for the things that he previously promoted, but now that he's started to adjust and change and be more accountable, responsible, and I've heard him talk about his faith in God and Christ and whatnot
Really?
a couple times, yeah. And
You said
wanting to undo. You said what?
so he certainly dogged out the church 2 weeks ago.
He dogged out
Newburgh.
yeah,
Pastor.
yeah. The and I've heard him say on this podcast too, like his belief in God is different from his belief in church. He feels like organized religion has plenty of flaws, and I guess that's a whole different conversation. But I think this may be an effort to try to clean up some of his past things that he's, now that he's, we all grow, we all adjust. And I'm not necessarily defending it, just throwing a different perspective out there.
Even if what you're saying is true, what I'm saying is don't start with your daughter. Start with everybody you already done messed up.
True indeed.
Tell them that they shouldn't be having sex. The sons and daughters out there that you convince and take
Make a
ownership
song.
of the songs that I'm making, the songs that I support, the songs that I co-sign are part of the problem.
But he won't.
You know what?
It's not gonna-
Listen to 2.0. He's changing his life. I'm just trying to help.
But
If
here's
that's real,
People got to
that's
start
how it is.
somewhere,
So
and then
here's the
revelation
thing.
has to
don't
have
start
to
with
Yeah.
your own daughter's situation.
I don't
That's
think-
all.
That's my house.
I don't think he's looking at it from a wider lens of responsibility, right? I think because you think about it, when you have a kid who's saying, "Well, you drink alcohol," well, yeah, I'm grown, I can drink alcohol. When you
Yeah.
get grown, you can drink alcohol, right? But here's the thing: just a couple of weeks ago, he was saying, "Why would I pay my tithes to the church when I paid all my tithes at Magic City last night? I paid every girl's bills that was dancing in front of me," right? So. To me, that's not even a statement that you make as a person who's spiritually waking up, or
God ain't done with him yet. Right.
no, I know that, but still, come on
Ryan,
now.
Ryan still remember them
To
kicks.
say
His
to
heart is
say
in the right place.
that we take care of our community, we took care of the community last night, and we paid our
Every time we
tithes
talk
to the
about
ladies in
T.I.,
Magic City.
Ryan remember them
That's a
kicks.
little out there. That's a little out there.
A
So
little bitter.
it's all I'm saying.
He's still mad about that.
The kick in the
mascot.
head.
T.I.
kick
kicked you in the head. He's trying to get
Yeah.
back at him.
You gotta hear that story. It's like you're looking at it like he kicked you in the head.
Yeah, T.I. kicked him in the head.
Literally.
The actual T.I.
Wow.
The actual
Tell the story
T.I.
real
Right
quick,
after,
Ryan.
right after the gynecology appointment came in, he kicked Ryan in the head. Was it you?
So he might be looking for me on Monday too.
Right. Was it a
but-
drop kick or a roundhouse?
Nah,
A
just
straight
a
old
little kick.
stomp.
Just kicking the head. So I used to be a mascot for the Ryan Cameron Morning Show, 1079. You know what? I was probably never supposed to say that. Anyway, I used to be a mascot
bastard.
for.
The NDA. Like, what?
Yeah.
Got you on contract.
NDA for mascot.
Yeah. Now he actually told me never tell anybody that, but that's probably when I was, being paid. Anyway, so he had a celebrity bowling challenge, and T.I. and a couple other folks were there, and they were playing the song "I Ain't Never Scared," and I got down on the floor and started messing with him on his verse. And when I was like I was on the floor, and they got to the part, it was like not the way you were shaking and shivering on the pavement. I got down on the floor and started wiggling. He just kicked me. Yeah, he's like, "Get out of here!" Just kicked me. It's like I was bringing negative attention his way or something. But
The one the east side stomped though, was it? It was just like a regular kick.
He like
nah,
wild
the East Side Stomp
Like
would
the
have
young
given
bloods.
Right.
East Side Stomp would have given me a concussion.
Ended your career.
All that
Did that
padding
end your
though.
career?
It was
I would
a
have been on
big.
concussion
Yeah. You was a
No, I
lion,
had
right?
I was a lion. I had on a
Yeah.
30-pound costume, man.
you
I
didn't
was
feel that
shivering from
much.
a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Little flashbacks in there, but you didn't feel that much.
Oh man.
Anyway, so yeah. So
It was embarrassing.
we got
though.
beef with
Your
you.
ego, your ego gonna feel that forever.
Yeah, probably so. Probably so.
Anyway, but I mean, if what you're saying is true, I do see signs of that from him every now and then. But part of why I'm saying what I'm saying is a lot of the hold that the world still has on people that are trying to make this transition, the Chances, the Kanyes, is that line that you keep walking between a little bit of Jesus, a little bit of world. You got to make a clear break because things like this are indicative that you don't really get it. Like if maybe I don't know him, so I don't. If he was sitting here and he was like, "No, Sean, I did say that," I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, if there's a difference between how you see your daughter's virginity and your son's virginity, you still don't get it yet. You see what I'm saying? That's my point. You just that's not it. I sympathize with him wanting your daughter to be a virgin. I want my daughter to be a virgin until she's married, same way I was. But if I don't have that same feeling towards other people's daughters, and if I had sons, then you don't get it. Yeah, that's not the point. So that's the only advice I would have for him. It's like keep going down this road. Church does suck a lot of times, so I understand the aversion to it, but you got it. This is a big deal, and my thing is, when he said it, he must have obviously thought it wasn't going to be a big deal. He must have thought, yeah, so what? Do you think he imagined this kind of backlash from that?
I don't think
so. He thought it was normal.
First off,
I think he knew he'd get backlash from this.
I ain't never heard of the podcast that he was on, so maybe he didn't think it was going to get leaked like they did. So when it started hitting blogs,
they deleted it.
Didn't
y'all say it was Angela Lee?
No, it's like her podcast. I thought it was, but it's like it.
So when that happened, if they deleted it, they must have got a call like, "Yo, y'all need to take that down," because once it got on, I guess the Shade Room and all these other blog sites, it just was.
Yeah, and Risha brought it up, and what makes this even worse and even more gross is that the information he was seeking from the gynecologist doesn't prove that she's a virgin or not. That's just besides the point. Not only is this gross, not even if it was a way to figure that out, it's not. That being there or not there or whatever doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It's not proof. It's like an old wives' tale. It's not proof of anything. So you need to have a daughter, man. Like you do.
I feel bad, y'all. But y'all, the way you look, man, you look like, yo, dude, this is nasty. What are you doing?
I mean, everybody. I don't. There's a lot of things. I think if everybody in here was to say every single thing they thought, somebody would be like, yo, that's gross. Don't say that again. Yeah. So he just blurted one out. Just take the L and just learn from it.
He more than blurted it out. He acted it out, because that's too much.
Oh, wow. Somebody said they took it down and apologized to him.
That's some power, man. T.I. got power. Good show, though. The Rhythm and Flow. I co-signed that.
Yeah, that was a good show.
That was a great show. But this thing right here.
I think okay, so I think the thing that we had the discussion about was I always saying, and I get y'all concern from a person like, hey, you should have that same energy for everybody like you have for your daughter. And I was telling them, I said, well, I just think for him, he feels like this is my daughter, so I can have control over her. I can't have control over y'all kids. Even if I'm saying something that's what you're a parent for. You're supposed to parent your kid. That's what I'm doing.
Age though.
That's what a lot of entertainers say. A lot of entertainers say, I take care of my children, you take care of your kids.
No.
Not the phrase, there's a difference between a hoe and a housewife comes to mind too.
Yeah.
Like there's what if he considers, again, I'm just playing the other perspective. There's a difference between all them girls I was smashing, those were just hoes. They weren't. But the housewife, you gotta take care of her, nurture her, honor her like you would your mother. You know what I'm saying? And while to the believers, a woman is a woman, period. A female is a female. You supposed to, entreat them as you should. But to secular wisdom and understanding, it's like, nah, man, if she act this way, smash her, cut off, don't answer her phone calls, baby mama her at best. You know what I'm saying? But to other types of women, it's like, nah, man, like she made me wait for it. She made me buy a flower. She made me honor and respect her. So it's like he might be trying to raise a housewife and acknowledging some of the past as them was just chicks I was smashing. They weren't raised good. They probably ain't even got a dad. You know what I'm saying?
Say a lot about her mom though.
You part of Hustle Gang?
I'm from Atlanta, so I was raised in it. You know what I mean? Like this is the mentalities I was raised with. If I keep it 100 with you, you know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying, but my thing is, it is not, from my perspective, the responsibility of a young lady to decide what she is. It's the responsibility of the man to be the one to
Identify.
I'm trying to say it nice.
Lead.
Fellas, I'm not scared to say lead. I am disappointed with guys making their purity dependent on what a woman allows or not allows them to do. That shouldn't have nothing to do with what your purity is. It should be, I am not going to do any of those things. And I'm going to make sure that we don't do any of those things. It shouldn't be, it's not good enough for you to be like, oh, she made me do this, she made me do that, and I did it for her. But that's not why you're doing that.
I think you're not catching what he's saying. He's catching from the.
I know.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking to T.I. I'm not talking to him. I know.
No. What I'm saying is from a. I think that's why I keep going back to the whole morals and values thing, because some people that they don't see it that way.
Yeah, so I'm telling you what it should be.
Yo, you should be.
I'm glad you're telling me what it is. This is what it should be.
It should be that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying for the young man that he's talking about, or somebody that was like him growing up, that's wrong. It's wrong. But that's the only thing he knows.
That's wrong. And what I'm saying is, I don't hear enough people pushing back and saying it is not. From my point of view, let somebody else talk to women. I'm talking to guys. It is not their responsibility to set the rules for that situation. I don't care if they present their backside to you raw. It is not their responsibility to dictate your behavior.
How you get into that raw position?
Yeah, right.
I saw something about Lizzo earlier today. But y'all didn't see that? It's messing with me. But my point is that your behavior is not dictated by what a woman allows or doesn't allow.
I see what you mean.
You need to stand up and make sure that your decision for your life is purity. This decision for your sons and daughters is purity.
For your relationship.
It doesn't matter what's presented to you. That's all I'm saying.
And I agree. I something that helped me when I was in college was in the story of Adam, his first job was to name everything, right? To identify it, right? So when I got saved and started to get more involved in the Christian community, I started to have a lot of attractive sisters. And I had to pray to keep the flesh in its place. But one thing that God showed me was this relationship will be what you call it. And so the more, it was some sisters that I have that are very, very close sisters, but I had to consistently call them my sister and see them as my sister. I have one biological sister, but like I had to call them and identify them like I identify her to keep my flesh in check and to keep everything where it's supposed to go. Like, we're not talking after 11 o'clock at night. That's good. Unless it's an emergency, and it better be something worth praying about. Other than that, like, we're not having casual conversation. We're not going out by ourselves on no dinner dates, or I just want to talk to you privately. Like, oh no, I'm gonna bring my brother with me, or you bring, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody else for the sake of accountability. And then it got to a point where me and my brother, we was like, listen, everybody can't be our sister. You know what I'm saying?
Even to take what you're saying further,
gotta be a wife.
Yeah. That flesh came up.
Even to take it further, even if this is not your sister, even if this is your girlfriend, fiance, the treatment doesn't change.
Yeah, that's true. That's
standards.
Because whoever you're dating who does not end up being your wife is someone else's wife.
Yeah.
And I had to keep that in mind, that I may be dating someone else's wife.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do nothing that I wouldn't want nobody to do with my wife. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's how not even just wife, daughter, sister. This is family, especially if they're Christians. They are your sister, whether you end up marrying them or not. Right. So I just think that it's up to guys to stop letting culture dictate our behavior. Stop joking about getting with girls and this whole conquer mentality of, oh, I did. Like, I don't know. I even hear it sometimes with Christians, just that idea of, guys will be guys, and that whole idea. We got to stop that. We need to start expecting men, Christian men, almost Christian men, kind of Christian men, becoming Christian men. We got to set the standard is your purity in your relationship is your responsibility. Same way it was Adam's responsibility. Sure. It's not what she allows, it's what you dictate. You have to set that standard. And no more excuses about these people are this way, these people are that way. So I watch this on Instagram. All of that needs to go away. We need to start building better men from now on. Anyway, I didn't mean to say that. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Wright, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go!
Hey guys, this is Miracle from Trackstarz. I wanted to make sure you all know all about the
Nathan said you expect.
If you'd like a free Trackstarz t-shirt, free merch, exclusive content, and direct access to your favorite radio host,
telling you, man, he
then this is
said
free.
he was so
Make
serious.
sure
He
to check
said,
out trackstarz.com.
When I put my money in the church, when I've been paying tithes all night.
Trackstarz.com.
I'm in Magic City all night paying folks' bills.
The
He said that.
reason he
Brand
says
new,
that
brand
is
new,
because
brand
he
new
has-
music.
That's the kind of what I'm getting at.
He has what?
He has two audiences. Same
yeah,
thing
yeah,
with
yeah.
a lot of
But it's
these.
not even spiritual.
Dude,
His
I am
other artists,
officially-
spiritual is more political.
Officially,
My point is,
cancel Chance the Rapper on that.
the point is when you have two audiences, you say things that make Christians happy,
I didn't
and
see
then
it.
you
I
also
saw
say
clips
things
of
that
it.
make people in the world happy. And until you decide which side you're going to be on, you're always going to be this double-minded person. Because when you say something like that, you want your boys to laugh. That's why you say it. Girl, that ain't, you can't live like that.
It's got girls. Quirky, yes. Quirky's the beat the whole video.
Purposely twerking. It's not like you flip that.
Yeah, it's like stupid stuff like
How we try and do
walking
it.
past the
But
car.
the song
she's
calls
on the
it.
car.
It's the
It's the beginning definition.
Big
First
butt.
set.
I'm done with it.
What's interesting is on that show, he got on a Christian. He was
Being judgmental.
rapper.
Yeah.
He wasn't a Christian rapper, but he was kind of like a Chance. Like he would rap kind of about both things. He said he was a Christian. He got a Chance. He was on that show, Rhythm and Flow. And he got on him and he said, make sure you don't let anybody shoot your. Because he did a video where it was like had Christian themes. But one of them, it was like they flipped the scene over and the crosses upside down. He was like, as a Christian, make sure you don't let anybody shoot your videos because they do demonic stuff and they throw it in your video. So like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm
You
talking
know what's so
about.
funny? You know what's so funny? I think the industry don't think. They think demonic is like occultist stuff. They don't think demonic is
they know
sex
it's
and drugs.
drugs,
Yeah.
I think Christians really believe that they can do what they want to do and call it entertainment.
It's different levels of understanding. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I'm still here for Chance.
so it's like, yeah. I was gonna say like for him, twerking just may be a cultural thing. And now hold on. I know it sounds weird, but then at the same, I'm also Nigerian, and so I remember going to a show at Clark, Atlanta, and it was like an African Student Association thing, and it was like a father brought his 8-year-old daughter out, and she moved like a grown woman. There was a part of me I was like, no, but then I had to realize I was like, man, like it's culture. It's how they dance. That's how we dance. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of hips and all that kind of stuff involved, and so it's like. If they're trying to marginalize certain things that in the past were like, that's a big deal, she's shaking her butt, I like big butts, like, you know what I'm saying, like, oh my gosh, and now it's like, man, it's normal, it's like cussing it.
If that were the scene in the video, I think people could take it that way.
Yo, what
But
up,
it was
everybody? It's your boy
clearly
Sean
meant
Simmons, aka
to
Double.
What's the name of the
be
song?
arousal.
What was
Hot
the song?
Shower.
Yeah.
Is that song with the baby?
Yeah.
This is a Trackstarz exclusive.
Expect the video to be like that?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
No. So
Y'all expect
when you
him
hear
to be
the,
a
have you heard the
Christian for
single?
real.
Have you heard the single?
Yeah, he's still
The
listening to
single's
years.
like really
Maybe,
like.
I mean, he might have been a Christian before, but like, he's only been sold out for maybe a year and a half.
Like it's like a joke song.
It's not about chance. It just represents what a lot of guys are. But where you say Christian stuff, I mean, in the church, there's guys like this in church on Sunday where they say Christian stuff and they can say all the right stuff, but then they live.
I think Christian men like that exist, but they're running from it every day. But like I think that there might have been somebody's past, or there might have been, what.
There's people in church today that act just like the chances
I'll say God has been dealing with me a lot, and being able to understand people's current level of conviction a lot. So like maybe that's why I say
I'm sensitive to chance, but chance is making music with a lot of people. Yeah. So all I'm saying is this is a challenge. I'm not giving up on chance. I'm not giving up on chance. But hey,
It's ridiculous to expect that.
I'm pointing this out to you. Like, I'm not a big accountability
I
partner.
think that we need to stop looking at people's platforms as people other than
It's not even about hot showers in the video. It's not even about different places.
If I heard of a song, if somebody told me there was a hip hop song called Hot Shower, I expect the video to be ratchet. I expect the video to be.
You gotta come back in.
Woman in the courtroom in the jury box doing.
Yes. Working in the jury.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like stuff that don't make sense.
True.
It's time for the entertainment report with Jeremiah.
All right, man. Entertainment report time. Let's get it going. First off, I want to give a shout out to our guy Crispy. It's his birthday today, so shout out to him.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Continue to pray for him. You know, if you don't know his situation, go to our
He's still
Twitter
going
page.
through surgeries to this day. So keep. I mean, we haven't even met our $100,000 goal. I told everybody I'm not asking for any more donations until we hit that 100,000. So it's like 96. So
that's good.
Keep helping him because he's still going through stuff.
Yeah, and also Poetics. Happy birthday to you too, sir. All right, Adrian Sings, I'm sorry, song was used by the South Carolina Gamecocks football team for their celebration video. So shout out to him. That's a good placement. The Cray song, Welcome to America, was in the movie Black and Blue.
I said that to you.
You did, yeah.
It was a good movie.
Last week? Or
it was a couple of weeks ago. It was when, I can't remember who was here, but yeah, somebody texted me and told me about it because they went to go see it.
Yeah.
Well, Welcome to America.
Yeah. So shout out to him. Kanye comes in at #1 on Billboard charts, but he also came in at #1 on the Christian and gospel charts as well.
Did he put the album up as Christian rap?
No, it just was hip hop.
Really? Because somebody told me it was Christian rap.
No, it just came up like when you go to it. I don't on iTunes. It don't say him #1 at gospel and Christian.
Because even if you put both categories, you still only show up in the first one.
Yeah.
What's the second category Christian rap?
I don't know.
And also, I noticed on Billboard it says soundtrack. That was interesting to me that he positioned it as a soundtrack. That changes a little bit to me.
Really?
It gives it a different feel to me.
Oh wow. Because he's coming out with a movie.
It came out.
Oh yeah, okay, with an
but
IMAX.
to position it as a soundtrack to that movie versus an album, that's I got questions.
So are you better with that or are you worse with that?
No, it's just interesting. Like, because to me when I hear soundtrack, I put it in a different space in my head. Like the Black Panther soundtrack that Kendrick did.
Yeah.
I don't see that as Kendrick's album. I see that as a soundtrack. You know what I mean? So it's a little I put it in a different space in my brain. So the fact that they put it as a soundtrack is interesting.
But I think the thing was for somebody saying that I think he is he signed a Def Jam record, so I don't think they have much knowledge of the Christian and gospel space like that. So I'm thinking they just put his music in the hip hop genre, and it just since it's gospel, they're gonna put it on there.
I would bet that the second category is a Christian category.
Probably.
I would bet. I could probably find out.
All right, man. Speaking of Lecrae, shout out to him. Recently did an interview on CBN News, and during it, he revealed that the title and possible release time for his next album, the 10th studio album from Lecrae, it's been 10 albums from Lecrae, called Restoration, and it's expected to release before the end of the year or at the beginning of 2020. Explaining the album title and concept, Lecrae said, "I've really truly been restored. God has done some restoration work in my life. Over the last few years, I'm going through a lot of turmoil and pain behind the scenes, and people, they know some of it, but they don't know how it truly affected me and my family. So a lot of the that will be shown, and people will be able to see that some relationships have been restored, some perspectives have been restored. My faith has definitely been restored." So shout out to Cray for that.
That's good.
All right, man. I think one of the big stories of this week that was kind of a shocker was the John Kreese allegations. Story has taken a bad sign. Something came out on Charisma News. If you listened to the show last week, I gave a shout out to him because he was supposed to have a Netflix special. Well, that's been postponed, I think, for a while, and then his tour has been postponed as well. Charisma News came out that he's been accused of sexual misconduct, harassment, inappropriate behavior, sexting, and manipulation. The article contained firsthand accounts by numerous people who were affected by him and his behavior. He has not publicly made a statement yet, but he'll be updating one soon, I'm guessing. Of course, it's important to note that these are allegations at the moment until he confirms or denies. But the evidence contained within the article is very serious. It includes text and email exchanges, a number of victims, and those who are shocked that no one else knew about this with John Kreese.
Is he married?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Sources have revealed that Chris knew that this day was coming, but never knew when. His direct quote: "Over the years, Chris' behavior has gradually became a kind of open secret among certain Christian circles. Some individuals contacted for the investigation expressed surprise that the general public was not already aware of Chris' behavior. The only announcement made was the tour was canceled due to health reasons. In an effort to focus on his health, John Chris has made the decision to postpone his 2020 tour dates. We are sorry for the inconvenience and of any confusion that might have caused."
We're about to talk about it, so.
Okay, I was gonna say, I got a question, but I didn't want to get too deep into the weeds.
Carpet section, One Day, No Limits pre-order, King Chavs, The Leftovers pre-order, No Big Deal, Lowercase Tape, Hovey, he said Hovey, right? Hovey, Volume 1, Big Yay, Heal Me single, Chris Elijah, Love Me Forever single, K Sade, Unseen single, Legion, Highly Esteemed, Phil J, Sweet Thing single, and Young Titan Attack single. And Ryan, what's good?
Man, I got a shout out to the Nectar artists, man. Keep doing your thing. It's great opportunities for us to hear good music and for you guys to put out good music when you go through Nectar. Shout out to Deontay Hall, man. He dropped Royalty this week. Mike Sarge, one of the homies, one of the favorites of this group. He dropped Mocha this week. And Parks just dropped Renegade. So make sure you go out and check out Renegade. That just dropped on all digital outlets this weekend. So really good project. Make sure you check it out. Give the homies some support. And now for this big news that we've been teasing all week. I need some drums for this. Somebody give me some drums. Where's your kit? Where's your kit? You know, you just got a drum kit today. What happened? Come on.
He said go.
You can't alley-oop stuff at the last beat. You gotta do it in practice.
Where's your sound effects? You usually have the sound effects going.
I told you my battery thing is gone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you don't have a computer in front of you. Okay, cool. Gotcha. All right. That's why I can see your face up there. Cool. All right, man. So ready or not, here we go. Okay, so we have been working on some different things. You all know that we always got something in the bag. Sean is a whiz in technology. He understands how to code. He understands how to make this brand look better, make this brand sound better, make even the brand feel better. So we want to appreciate and support Sean and everything he does, and say we appreciate you, bro, for all your hard work and what you do. We have now just come out with a Trackstarz 24-hour live stream, right? And that's our news. You can actually go to Roku and you can find Trackstarz now. So we are now streaming on Roku 24/7. And the good news is you now have opportunity to be a part of it. So we have a website for you guys. We have an email address rather, and that is 24live@trackstarz.com. You can use this email to send us a request to submit content. You can talk to us about how you feel, leave us some encouraging words, and just give us some reviews on the Roku channel. Give us some suggestions of what you want to see added. So we're looking for some folks who have show ideas, some people who have series, some people who have music videos. So anything out there that you have, the created, talented art that you have, send that to us so we can take a look at it.
Let me tell you something. This is, to be honest, this is like 1/3 of the announcement. We're gonna do it in pieces, because what we're trying to do is really big. We're trying to push people. I know you guys love Christian hip hop and it's fun, but again, my passion has always been film. And I'm trying to push everybody artistically towards more cinematic work, television shows, films, short films, whatever. I'm trying to push people to more of that format because I think we could really kill that space. So this is the first glimpse into us making the move into the film space. So if you have a television show idea, a movie idea, or whatever, a documentary idea, start working on it now because we're trying to create a space for that type of Christian content. Something that's from us, you know what I mean? Not us. I'm trying not to be racy.
Yeah.
But just people who kind of get the culture, aren't, I'm just saying, not pure flicks, right? So not washed out stuff, like just like really like real Christian content. That's
Christmas
what we're going
movies
for.
are coming up, man. Pure flicks.
I love Christian movies and I love pure flicks, but what we're trying to do is build like this is content from people who really live this thing, really in the space.
And they don't really live it too.
Really in the space. But unapologetically, this is what this life is really about. So if you're in that space and that's what you want to make, come talk to us.
So what is our channel for somebody out there that's like, yo, I want to show people the channel and stuff like that? Roku, just Roku.
Just Roku.
Yeah, and it's also playing on our website right now. So if you go to
Okay.
trackstarz.com, eventually I'll get it to where you could actually watch the live stream that we're doing right now on the website as well. But again, we're rolling this out in phases. Eventually, we'll also be streaming live on, working on setting up Instagram and Facebook. So right now, everybody's looking at us on YouTube, but eventually it'll be on all the platforms at the same time. So you can look at it from whatever one you like the best. But again, we're trying to push people towards
The Roku.
film,
And stuff.
cinema, making real products that can go on television, that can go on Netflix, that could go
Yeah.
on other areas, so we could really start penetrating that market, because we're doing pretty good in music now. We got a lot of people that are doing really well in that space. We got to find more people like the Ryan Lamars, like the Courses, like the people like that who can get into the film industry and make a difference there.
So I'm just real quick asking. So what if it's another team out there that does kind of like what we do with our radio show, and they're like, yo, I want to partner with you guys. Just go to 24/7.
Yeah,
live.
and normal music videos, we already have a way for you to submit that. If you go to trackstarz.com, video submissions, you can submit your music videos at any time.
Gotcha.
But this is that's still part of it. But we're really looking for shows, movies, short films,
Gotcha.
documentaries, things that are a little bit above what we're used to in this space. We're trying to get like Ryan Lamar's doing this Better Days series. Like that, we're trying to push people towards real things that could go up on IMDb, that can be real cinematic works.
Yeah, and
Domingo,
lead to
like Domingo Guyton, like he
Exactly,
does some
like
great
Domingo,
stuff.
like
Yeah.
official
Yeah.
products.
stuff that can lead to bigger opportunities for folks.
Yeah.
Dope, man.
So anyway, so just to put it in your ear, I know we have some directors and producers on here that have been trying to dabble in the film industry. We're trying to create a space for you to because again, Trackstarz is not just Christian hip hop. We are everything creative when it comes to using your gifts for God, right? So it's not just about music. So we're trying to get people who are in that space a place to meet people, find people to work with, and get better at it. All right, let's get back into it. Oh, and by the way, we confirmed it was Christian rap was the second category.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so that's why he was in there. Anyway, you in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go. Do you know that we are a full-fledged media company and we're here for people like you? We can do mixing, we can do mastering of your song,
Biggest selling album we've had.
I feel like they already got their
website,
favorites.
do your music video. Yeah, we do all of that stuff. So send us your information right now. Contact us at trackstarz.com and let us help you get out there. Let's go.
This is a Trackstarz
Exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you listened to it again recently? Have you noticed that like some of the songs sound cleaner?
Didn't I tell you?
You're right. They
He's
cleaned
gonna
up.
go back and
They're
clean this
cleaning.
album up.
Some of them songs got mixed again.
That's what he
Some
did
of
with
those
Life
songs
with
got
Pablo.
mixed again. They sound better now.
If you heard Life with Pablo the first time, it sounded like terrible. It sounded terrible. I think he's gonna do the assessment. So he can send it through the distribution. Yeah, we can do that too. Like if you send out your album, you want to put out a mix, you can send out a mix, Spotify, he's gonna be working on this album. Don't be surprised if Michelle shows up on it. Don't be surprised if it mixes it.
The songs that I was like, I like it, but I just can't get into it. Those sounded fine now, and I was just like, oh, I'm good.
I guarantee you that song with the clips on it. That's
that one I couldn't.
he's gonna fix it because that might sound bad.
I ain't like it. I mean, it was cool, but it's like my first year as a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool. I'm not there anymore. I think the only song that I really feel like is like Water. That's what it was. Everything we need from just for water.
You listen to Yandy was the full one, right? The one that
Yandy, because when I listen to Yandy, some of the songs that he flipped, like turn it to gospel was a little different. Like everything we body still. Did somebody in school know about that?
Yeah, but because the whole concept of new body is having sex with this girl is different because you have new parts.
Yeah, but I mean, that could be a flip. You can flip that.
No,
for a
you
question.
should.
You can. If somebody never heard the record,
You should.
if you never heard the record,
So you mean the new body,
like when I die, I'm gonna have a new body.
Yeah, no, that's a stretch. That's a stretch.
If you ain't heard the song, how would you know?
That is conceptually, I'm an artist. I get it. It's like saying, it's like you saying, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do a Christian remix to Sir Mix-a-Lot. You know what I'm saying?
People have
You
done
got
that.
back?
People have
Baby got
definitely
back.
done that.
I actually
Yeah.
got one coming soon. So.
Baby got back right with Christ.
And it's like, and some songs that just need to be left alone. Like
Like the hook goes, I like
Salute,
this,
this is
busted,
Eshawn
and then
Burgundy.
the hooks,
Right now
and
you're in
then
the field with
verses
the
is,
Trackstarz.
Like,
Yeah.
he talking about how,
are you
like,
serious right now?
no, that's serious.
This is the Trackstarz.
That's serious. Right, yeah. No, this the thing was, I like it, but in the verses, it's gonna be like, I want to get up and go and start the job, but, like, so every line is gonna be saying but, you know, so it's like using that for the thing.
More power to you. That's how God gave it to you. Who am I?
I actually got that from Mike Bowers. You know Mike Bowers had a piece where he was like that?
They're useless, like trying to eat an apple when you're toothless. It's not gonna happen. You're fake dead cause you don't work. The same reason you out of work. If you get a job, you gotta work. That's how it works. Gotta work the plan, but you ain't got it. So the hook don't apply. Lazy need not apply. I'm talking to go-getters. Have you ever considered not being selfish? Sharing your wealth is an awesome tool. Not money, but not for the YouTube jewels.
We don't have anybody respectable who's like opposed to certain stance. Nah,
That's it.
I've been to the Stellars and I was like, dude, are you gay or not?
Why not go grab it?
Oh. Y'all didn't hear that?
So, but I mean, it's too much playing with certain standards. I'm sorry, but you know what I'm saying? Like
The words of 2.0 is
You
not
in
the
the
words.
field.
Listen, we own this. We own this.
Hey,
Nobody can take it away right
It is
now.
what it is, man. Nobody told you.
Sean about to go back and be like,
Nobody.
Edit that out, though. Edit that out.
Nobody told you to put on pink lipstick in a video that was a face. Like nobody told you.
smile video?
Yeah,
Man.
it's lip gloss. I got daughters. I know what lip gloss looks like. You got on pink lipstick and makeup.
If you was in the phase of 2.0, and that's what she's in the phase
Man, I pray. My wife is pregnant now. I pray. I love my daughter.
Number one, you gotta pray. Number two, you gotta stay in his space. Ask for his grace. Number three, you move at your own pace.
I didn't go
and make
for
all the
Man, you gotta start speaking more positive.
I didn't.
Every time we
It
talk,
was great.
we try to get more.
I'm gonna do that every time somebody says something crazy.
I was saying this quickly.
Now listen, my brother, he has five.
That laugh out loud, we get
Now
reckless
listen,
today.
my brother has 5 kids and he has 3 boys.
I've already have that in my mind.
He told
I'm
me
gonna try maximum 3 times to even it out. If it doesn't even out.
So did you? Okay, real quick. Did you go back when you was at the Stellar? Did you automatically think that when you saw him?
Oh yeah, absolutely, bro. That's why I don't want to go back. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless it say, I've been to like parties put on by big record labels, Impact, like, yeah. Oh, okay. But yeah, man, it's like it's so much, and again, we all got children, we all got our different things that we struggle with, but for it to be paraded with in light, you know what I'm saying? Like we all up on each other as grown men talking about something, and we're presenting on TV. It was recorded in front of thousands of people, and my mom, like I believe that she just got serious about her faith after her bout with cancer. And so I went with her because it was like, man, like, I've never seen my mom grew up in church, but like I've never seen her on this level with God, and I prayed for it. I was like, God, if you spare her life through this cancer, I pray at least she comes to know you in a greater way. She starts functioning. There's some things on my list that God did them all, but I've never seen her like go this hard for God and have this level of passion. So for her to be there and to be like, this is what church, this is like the epitome of church celebration, honoring people who have a belief. And then to see this kind of parading, it's like, dang, like, she doesn't know any better. All she knows is like the little quartet and the missionary Baptist church. So to see this and the song you hear on radio, she flipped when she heard my song on radio. So it's like to see like this is what gospel music is and what it does, and now it kind of creates the standard for like, oh yeah, you can be.
This show is brought to you by Trackstarz.
But when it comes to talking about
Allow
God,
us
you
to
can't
produce a
play with that.
podcast
But everything
to
else
help
is fair
build
game.
community
All the
engagement
other
around your
standards
brand.
are,
We can record
yeah, it's
and
okay,
edit
you
a
got two of
podcast
them.
specifically
Female on the
designed
side, you know,
to reach your target
God ain't
market
through with 'em yet, right?
and utilize
It's
social
okay to
media
eat.
to create
You
or
like men
enhance
and
a
you
loyal
dress with
following.
two little
Go to
pants and- You know what I'm saying?
trackstarz.com
Like,
/brand.
that's just
Again,
Oh no.
trackstarz.com/brand.
The views and opinions of
Two little pants.
Yeah,
two.
man, like,
I don't know why I thought of two little pants. Like, I ain't.
Oh no.
So now we're gonna have to decide on beyond Chris.
put out more music so y'all can put me on. I'm dropping 6 songs before the end. Nah, no. I have Right. Let's intro it like this.
That's jacking me up about him though, man. Cause I'm like, always.
But
No.
who's the role model? Who do you look up to? Who can you look up to and be like they uphold it or standing opposing?
But I've never seen him. The way you just said, I've never seen him like that. Not on television.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Somebody said I never thought I would hear Kanye song playing on Trackstarz. I know the intro used to be Kanye.
Jesus walks. Oh, okay.
What's the deal, y'all? It's your man, No Malice, and you are tuned into Trackstarz Radio. That's what it is.
This is that brand new
music.
What YouTube algorithm picks is like a follow up to this.
Black and white. It's not really in black.
It depends on the
No, I'm talking
genre.
about
It goes by the
outside.
genre metrics, not by the.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
it'll play either more Kanye or it'll play other stuff that's based off this song.
We don't want more.
God put me in this place, man.
Yeah,
You was
that's
just
not.
praising him. You was just praising him last week.
Hey, yeah, we stay, we ready,
You sound like a parent now.
Hippity hoppity.
I never keep my mind focused on two things at the same time.
That's 2 Chainz, man.
Birthday
Stay
song.
up, pray up,
But in the background,
way up, way up. Yeah, hey,
Oh, there's a black and white version?
I said he won't let go. No, he won't let go.
I like what's happening right now because it's going to agitate. It agitates the stand.
It is, isn't it? That show is tough.
Gotta be like 4K.
No, he won't let go. He won't let go of his children. Yeah, we stay up
What's
in
that
the
song?
ceiling.
Christ like.
Amen.
The whole song is the conversation.
Amen.
Yeah. Then he told me it ain't Christ like.
So his dad to say.
His
Amen.
dad's a pastor. If I remember.
Hey, yo.
If I remember.
Look
If
at
I
what he
remember.
did it for the kid. Yeah, that's how we live.
So here's the thing. Like, he's running away now.
Go and tell your friends. Hey, still got no ice on the wrist. Hey, hold up, you know what it is. Yeah, he done came for the
we coming in.
kid. Yeah, you should pray for the kid. Hey, yeah, my heart was hardened. Hey, Yeah, you paid my pardon, ayy. We was so like Sodom, ayy. Ballin' like Houston. We don't ever give them 2 cents. Only here, right here, only cause of what you did. Yeah. Stay up, pray up. Way up, way up. Yeah, hey, hey, yeah. I said he won't let go. No, he won't let go. Yeah, he own my soul. I said he own my soul. I said he won't let go.
He's on high from Chances.
Oh, okay.
Did you notice that?
I'm in there somewhere.
That's one of them. You gotta pause it right there. You see me, you small guy in the back.
We can see our
Oh, that's the one we were.
Yeah.
Is that for real?
That was fun.
Did you say for real?
Somebody had the baby face in the front.
All right, here we go.
What's up? This is No Big Deal representing Middle Tennessee and Indie Tribe. You are now in the field with the Trackstarz.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Righteous, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah was good.
All right, for all things Trackstarz, visit www.trackstarswithaz.com. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Trackstarz, Twitter at Trackstarz, like the Facebook page, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, all right?
All right, so No Big Deal came out with a mixtape. What's it called again?
Wait, hold on, real quick.
Threw you in that alley.
I know. I didn't know the alley was
tape?
coming that way. It was behind the back.
Chase.
Lowercase tape.
Lowercase. There we go.
Yeah, so Jeremiah sent it to us this week and wanted to talk through it. So you got the mix ready?
Yeah.
All right, man, let's do it.
Being serious, bro, I feel like I'm Rafiki talking to Simba right now, man. Just like in all seriousness, bro, like just remember who you are, fam. Like remember who No Big Deal is.
Walk in the lab like I was Dexter. Hold up. Yeah, let me put your mind through some pressure. No what? Yeah, I'm talking Dexter just like my sister's name was.
What's happening, good people? This is your man T Woods, aka Notation. Right now, you tuned into my brother, No Big Deal.
Really, I came from the sticks, yeah. All I've been making is hits, yeah. I put the tape on the disc, yeah. I ride this beat into orbit, yeah.
I'm telling you, man, this is super fire. Like, it's really, really sick. I mean, like, it hits real hard, but the melodies are still there. Just
Came in the game of fortune and fame. Instead, I didn't want it, they doubted, they doubted. I found a team, we made our own lane, and now they all say that we bout it, we bout it. Really had to get it from the jump. Knew I had to spit or hit a dunk. Me and all my homies in the yo, spilling out our dreams and microphones.
Hey, bro, your name almost got me beat up right now. My big homie was like, yo, whose song is that? I was like, it's No Big Deal. He was like, oh, bet. It's no.
Dancing on their hand, that's a Millie Rock. This is really rock. You know this at 2.0. Call me Dilly Tosh. Get it? Yeah.
I don't really dance, but I swerve out with the yeet. Yeah, I just stay low key. I like life better discreet. I know what they need, so I'm back in with that heat. Yeah.
I don't need a label, so I drop the label. Get it straight from the streaming, so I cut the cable. There's a difference between a legend and a fable. They didn't have enough seats, so we built another table, yeah. Look, I don't want the beef and I don't want the bacon. Yeah, I told all my haters, assalamu alaikum. I asked Alexa, what's my purpose, what's my passion? She said she couldn't find that person or their address. My mama told me I was anything but average. No, I'm a star, but with no gas, I'm more like Patrick. Feel like I'm on frozen water when I walk around it froze. And I know I have my demons, I ain't squeamish. Was addicted to the skin up on my screen, but then I beat it. You see a crowd of people that be clapping when they see us. Dipping my feathers, I try to fly and it hurts. Tell me change for the money, I'd rather lie in the dirt. I go pop in my verse, you applaud in my verse. I put God in my verse, you don't nod in my verse. I was silent at first, I would lie in my bed. I didn't get any sleep, I was all in my head.
All right, what y'all think?
Man, I thought that was a great project. I thought it was really good. You know what I really like? So I just like No Big Deal's story. right? I like the fact that he talked to us about it. There's a lot that went on with him this year, and leaving Capitol, and we get that backstory in this project, and so I really appreciate that. I like genuine projects, so I like to hear like a story behind what's going on. So that part was really, really cool for me. Man, my turn up, man. Field House Freestyle.
Yeah, that's fire.
Oh, man.
Prego.
Yes, that was awesome, man. I thought that was really, really good. I enjoyed it from start to finish. Like, I remember looking down at my phone trying to make sure I remembered these different songs. I really liked the one that featured Aaron Cole, which is 2 Weeks Notice. It's probably my first one. My favorite one. Right? My favorite one is 2 Weeks Notice because I like what he said. And then I like how he flipped it to kind of like tell you what the A&R was thinking and then tell you what he was thinking. I also like the one with Caleb Mitchell, Lottery. Yeah. I thought that was really dope. Overall, man, I just love No Big Deal's sound. I like the selection of beats that he chose for this project. I think that he is masterful when it comes to, catching a beat and riding it all the way out. I just think that he's a great lyricist on top of that. It's really good. So, I mean, I would definitely encourage people to go check it out. It's dope.
Yeah, I think what you said, everything was good. Like, I enjoyed it. I'm going to have to go back and listen to it some more. But I really like Voss. Field House Freestyle was really good. Like, when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, No Big Deal. It's snapping. And 1K Few came in snapping more. So it was really good. I do like the joint with him in Paris. Was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was good.
That one was really good too. And then he had a few more joints on there that really goes, man. And I'm really excited about what he's doing now that he decided to leave Capitol Records and see what he's doing on his own. And then what I mean? I heard that it went crazy on Dat Piff because it's on Dat Piff as well as a mix, like it's an official mixtape.
Yeah.
And I like the way he put it together too. Like, that's why I kept the whole interludes in it, because to me it told the story of his journey of like life after Capitol. You know what I'm saying? So I like the record. I think it's a dope record. I said to them earlier, I was like, I feel like there's certain projects in CHH that I feel like help build the house. It was Christian hip hop, and I feel like this is another brick to add on to it. That's just my personal opinion. So
yeah, I think what I'm learning from a lot of these artists, man, is that they're telling us all that the grass is not greener on the other side.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody's out here saying, man, if I could just sign with a label, man, if so, et cetera, would pick me up. And then you hear D1 come back and talk about his experiences. You hear He Signed Lee come back and talk about her experiences. Now you got No Big Deal talking about his. And it really, and even I'll say the very first person that made me feel this way was No Malice, when he came away from his situation. And it basically just kind of tells us that we need to be builders of our own thing. We don't need to necessarily go out there and clout chase and try to get all of that. Like No Big Deal said, they were saying, you realize you're not going to sell out shows anymore. And he was like, well, no, I really only want fans at my show that want to hear the real. You know what I mean? So that, to me, speaks volumes about everything that we're doing. I mean, it's not just the music. It's just everything that we're doing, from the films that are being put out to the types of books that authors are putting out these days. Just go out there and do it. Who cares if hundreds of thousands of people don't read it or don't buy it or don't subscribe to it? Just know that your gift and your talent and your ability is getting out there for God. We have so much more responsibility in our talent and how we expose it to the world than anybody else does. So if we have to do it at a slower pace, if we have to do it with less exposure, then I think God is still pleased and it serves its purpose.
I will say, I hope I don't say her name wrong. She, like, last time I said it, Risha. She said something that I think we should have a conversation about. She said everything was good, the rollout. I think we need to have that conversation about Christian hip hop.
I didn't see the rollout. What was it?
I don't know, because she was just saying that the rollout.
My rollout was Jeremiah. So how did you find out about it?
I didn't know about it either.
I'm just hearing what she says.
No, but how did you obviously found out about it. How did you?
About his rollout? I didn't know about his rollout. I just knew he was coming out with a mixtape.
How did you find that out?
Just social media. Like, I knew he was coming out with a mixtape. I heard people talking about it. I heard Josh from New Release today talk about it. Like, he got a fire. I saw him tweet about it. And then I think I did see a video of like a little snippet about it too.
Okay.
So, but I think that's another conversation we should have, like maybe a topic one day about rollout, Christian hip hop, like how to roll out your album properly.
Risha would be the one that we need to come back here and do that.
Yeah. Because I think that's something that if people have better rollouts, more we could sell a little bit more too, and stay up there as we sell as well.
Well, part of it is the Indie Tribe marketing and the mystique around Indie Tribe and the group of friends. Because you remember, what was it, 3-4 years ago when all those guys were in here and they weren't like big people, and Mowgli was sitting here and No Big Deal was sitting right there, and
we started Bible study with them,
and What Up RG was in the corner, and it's like they weren't like big names yet, but they stuck together and they built this. It's almost like marketing is this idea that something is really big behind what you're doing. It's not just I put out a song. It's like, no, this is a thing, right? And Indie Tribe it feels like a thing. It doesn't just feel like it's some music. You know,
the Blessing Report said the rollout was only on Instagram. So
however, it built up mystique enough to where a DJ found it. You know what I mean? Like that's big. So I think even if they've come to the point where no matter what they do now, the rollout is good because they built up equity. You know what I mean? You know, if Indie Tribe is behind it, it's going to be good. It's going to be quality. It's going to have good features. It's going to be mixed well. So they have a reputation. So I think that's good. No Big Deal is one of the best, and that's why I mentioned him as far as who Kanye needs to reach out to. Yeah, that's right in his pocket of somebody who can help him write some stuff that'll make his next project even better. His stuff is witty. This is one thing I did notice. I will say, are we all? Y'all probably not, but are we all watching the same Ratchet shows? Because What Up RG, 1K, now Deal, they're all mentioning shows that I'm like, y'all know about that.
I don't watch it.
Tosh 2.0 or Tosh.0, whatever it's called. Last week it was Rick and Morty. The week before it was like, how y'all know about these shows? Are we supposed to be watching these shows?
Tosh, I would say this, that Tosh 2.0 is more his fan base.
I used to watch it all the time, but it's like, man, are we? I realize I'm like, wow, we're all watching these crazy, weird, wrong shows. I wonder if we should be watching these shows.
Isn't that more like him responding to video clips?
Yeah, but he's really nasty.
Okay.
He's super nasty. His stand up is even worse. So it was just a thought, like, man, like, should I be watching these shows? But I get the references. I'm like, I love that reference. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it.
He had a Narwhal reference too. If people don't know who Narwhal is, you should.
It's just interesting though that all these artists, including me, like we're all watching these kind of risky shows. A little bit risky. So I wonder what that means. But I love the references. I like to shout out to some stuff that I actually know about. So Deal is really witty. He's funny. I think that's what puts him ahead of a lot of people because he's funny. Like when you got metaphors and they're also kind of like a little bit like witty and funny, that puts you way above a lot of rappers, man. It's hard to do that. So that's what stands out for me.
What you think? 2.0, you hear it?
I think it's dope, man. When everybody, I'm not a huge Big Deal fan. I'm not saying that I'm not. I just don't have much of his music to reference. But I think it's dope when people can all reference the sincerity and people can all reference like, man, this is this dude's real life. You know what I'm saying? And can connect with certain elements or aspects of his story. I think that's what makes great artists is that they tell their story and they share their perspectives and gives the audience a chance to identify with who they really are. You know what I mean? And I think an artist can only keep up what they really are. You know what I mean? A lot of times we get these one-hit wonders and it's like, man, that song was dope. All right, what you got next? And it's like, oh man, I don't really make music like that. This one just worked. And it's like you produced it from a place of I caught a trend, I rode a wave, and it worked. But that's not who I am. That's not what I do. And so I can't reinvent that. I can't recreate that. You know what I mean? But then when you see somebody who's like consistently over time, like I'm aware of him. When I first met him, he was a road manager. I think he was Lecrae's road manager. And so it's like, man, like to see that transition from I've been around music to now I am the artist. And to kind of like to see a believable, you know what I'm saying, progression where it's like I respect that much. Again, I don't listen to a whole bunch of his music, but like I appreciate that much about him as an artist. Is like, man, like you ain't get out here and start talking about Grammy plaques and this, that, and the third, and all this other stuff that is like, dude, like, I'm not saying you had a lowly life, but like, I believe you. You're basically creating an biographical discography, if that can be a word.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you where No Big Deal shines. When I saw him live when he performed here, he stood out amongst everybody. It was obvious that he was the most polished performer out of everybody, and I think that's what kind of pushed him ahead. Is that his idea of a complete work, making sure everything is polished. He's fully in control of making sure what people see is solid. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, he's out of here. Like, because if you could do that, you got good music, and you could do what he did, that's out of here. So I have a lot of confidence in him making stuff in the future. And when you get to a place where people have confidence in you, whether you may like a song or not like a song, I still have confidence in him that he's going to be out of here.
Question, is it bad that the 3 people you name about record labels were all signed to a Christian record label?
Capital One Christian?
Yeah, he was on the Capital Christian.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That is bad. I mean, well, so I think that people have to realize.
D1 wasn't signed to a Christian.
Yeah.
He was? It was RCA Inspiration.
But it's still RCA though. So like some I heard at a panel at A3C was when you're going to like big labels and bigger organizations, they're big because they have a thing that they're good at and that they do. When they try to engraft something that's totally different, that they have no experience,
they can't put into the same pots that they put everything else. They have a button they could push on a Cardi. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom, I know I can send you here, boom. Yep. But for these guys, they don't know what to. There's no lane.
Now here's a question: do they need some of us in the community?
Okay, but
no, I'm just saying. Like, okay, so prime example. Let's say Michael V would say he would love to have an A&R job. Let's say Capital Christian called him. He got the job up there.
But it's not finding. It's not finding the talent. They found talent.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying the talent. I'm talking about somebody that could.
You mean somebody on the board that
somebody
is
that's
Christian
A&R that could be like, this is what we need to do with No Big Deal.
It's bigger than that because you need a string of, like, I don't think people understand how record labels really work. So, like, let's take Warner for example. Warner they have a film department. They have CBS, a TV network, and then they have CBS Radio, which is like V103 WAOK. So at any moment, the same record label that you're signed to is the same business that owns all these major national
they can push
media
through
outlets.
all their outlets. Yeah.
So it's like you're gonna get through just because. You know what I'm saying?
And the problem is what he's saying is it's not that they're not finding talent. It's not like they don't have a good plan. Is there's not a solid distribution channel for those artists.
No, but I think what No Big Deal was saying was that they didn't know how to market him. He loved being with them, but they didn't know how to market him.
The reason they didn't know how to market him is because the only available people they had
was gospel.
It's not going to work what you've been doing.
Different market. Yeah.
You know how to reach us. He could do that without them. But to reach the masses that he's trying to reach, there's no clear lane for Christian artists.
But you don't think that same system that we're talking about could send his song to, like, Shakira? You don't think Shakira could play it on V103?
Yeah, but you understand, these DJs, they know the difference. They know this is a Christian song, this is not a Christian song.
No, but okay, if you heard the song Shakira, you think that's a Christian song immediately?
Yeah, but
so to make it work, you also need a radio station that's just as major as the record label. You also need a TV station. You also need films that your film subsidiary is producing, to where it's like, okay, we already have an audience or a quote unquote market that we can market you to. They don't know, they don't have a foothold in this audience in the category.
I get what you're saying. I understand everything you're saying, that everything works hand in hand together. But I'm saying they know how to market an artist to a point to. For me, No Big Deal is not like a preachy Jesus guy. That's what I'm saying.
But here's the difference, though. Here's the difference. When they take like a Cardi, her local audience that she built up, the Instagram audience, is the same type of people they're gonna just make bigger. It's not, the Christian hip hop audience is not anything close to what the audience that they already have.
No, I get that. And
so it's like they have to start over.
So
that's not even the problem.
I think the thing is this, and this is not on No Big Deal or anything. I keep seeing, every time I like I said, I watch docs. Every time I see people have interviews and people talking, they always talk about hip hop presents a lifestyle that seems that people relate to. If we're not doing that, that if somebody could create something, we got great artists on our side, if we can say our side, that we could push to different places. So you're trying to tell me that if somebody comes out with a song like we use Lecrae, All I Need Is You is a great song. You trying to tell me you can't push that song on V103? You can't push that song to a video film place. You can't push that
but
song.
you're causing the audience their base audience to compromise a little bit, and they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
People could tell when this is inspirational and this is the ratchet stuff I want to hear. Like it's obvious.
So another issue I think is that companies like this. I met with a Christian media executive this week, and he said something that was really key. Companies like this, labels like this, artists like this, you have to be willing to take a loss on, right? If someone says we'll let you do the music you want to do, even though we know at first you might sell 5,000 copies, right? But we'll still continue to pay, even though it's a loss for us, right?
Yeah.
Because I was told that there's this network that's losing, millions of dollars a year, but because it's a Christian network and the company really believes in it, they're like, well, you're reaching the audience and the base that we care about. You can only do that for so long, right? But the pockets have to be deep. And so I think that you can do that for maybe 1 or 2 projects with a lot of these artists, but you can't do it longer than that. And I think that's the issue, is that if they don't get a massive fan base at the start of it, you got to give them time to build that up.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think what I'm saying is, my thoughts are maybe we have to go back to, like, even when you're signed with a deal, and this is going to sound bad, but even when you're signed, they may have to take the 90s approach of grassrooting you, being on tour with people, and you killing it.
Yeah, man, but that's expensive. The reason they picked a No Big Deal is because he had a buzz.
Right.
The problem is that buzz goes away when you sign this thing. They're trying to get you into an audience that has nothing to do with the one you started with.
No, but I think
Party, you don't have to do that. It's the same people.
I get what you're saying, and I understand what you're saying, but you don't tell me there are kids that watch Taj 2.0, watch all this stuff that you're saying, that if I brought No Big Deal in front of, that they wouldn't like.
Yeah, but you'll be doing it from scratch.
Right.
The people that
so
they
you basically
want
saying
have
the labels
already
don't
rolling.
the labels don't
They're
want to
ready.
work. Basically, they just want somebody that can.
No, they want the money.
If you don't know the words to the song, you're gonna have an audience that's looking back at you like, what?
No,
they
I
don't know
mean,
the words.
but that's not true. That's for some.
is true.
For some artists, you said this before too. Some artists can get on the stage, and they're established artists, but they're doing new song, and people look at them like they're a fish in a fishbowl.
If they do, if you come in with a banging beat, like before you even get to the lyrics, if you just drop the beat and everybody's moving their head, like we saw this happen with one of our artists. We were at a kids pep rally, and we brought our artist out. Nobody had ever heard of him again. He dropped that money beat, and it was like, dun, 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 and everybody just got up off their feet. It didn't even matter what he said after that.
Yeah.
So if you get to the point where they know the song, they know the lyrics, or they like the beat, you have a chance. But there's a lot of unwinnable audiences out there.
I just think it's not. I think I understand I understand everything y'all saying. I'm not like trying to go against what you're saying. I'm just saying that sometimes you have to make an artist. And sometimes I feel like some doing that. I mean, I think some people are still. I mean,
nobody's doing that.
I think some people are still
trying to. Record labels are trying to catch waves that have already started.
Yeah, I get that, but when I feel like there's certain people that they go different routes and take them different routes, and then they become a star.
So to your point, I give you an NF. Isn't he signed to Sony?
Yeah, he signed to Capitol at one time.
So you got an NF, and I did a little bit of research on like how he took off. Like they did what you said. They took a chance. I think he started like his streaming boom is what kind of sparked everything, and like they put him on a smaller playlist, he killed it. Then they put him on another playlist, and he killed it. And then they put him on a bigger playlist, just experimenting. And somebody a curator decide. I think it was either Spotify or like a user curator that decided to take a chance on him. So from that perspective, yeah, it could work. But from a major perspective, from a major label, it's still like, hey, you put a song on a playlist, it costs us nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like they're still not taking a risk. At most, people slow down or they skip over his song. at best, now we have another hot song that just got discovered that we added and we found and we introduced you to. So now our playlist has a little bit more rank.
So you're saying that based off a no big deal on a Rap Caviar playlist could change his situation,
or it can make Rap Caviar's value go down.
You think so? But
because here's the thing, if your brand is being built up as everything on here is solid and you gonna bang your head to, everything on here is like the next, you know what I'm saying? And then you get to this 1 or 2 songs and it's like, I don't like this one so much, or it's not like everything else on this list. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if it works here. Then automatically, one time you dismiss it, 2 or 3 times you start being like, oh man, they getting weak. Like, they falling off a little bit. It used to be X, Y, and Z. So that's the risk that they're not willing to take. When he talked about brand equity and brand awareness, like with Indie Tribe, like the biggest thing now, like attention is a currency.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The more people you have, the more money I can bring in because of that attention.
And the problem is because all the outlets are not big established outlets. Trackstarz is not like some big conglomerate outlet that could push you into all these things. The audience they built through the Rapzillas and the Trackstarz and the Wados, they don't know how to convert those people into this big audience. They don't know anything about us.
Right.
Yeah.
They have no foothold into what we do yet.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So for a Cardi though, the same little group of people she amassed when she was on Instagram are the same types of people.
Yeah.
Exactly. You could just convert those same people into this big audience because we know them, we have them, we got them mapped out, we straight. They do not have Christian hip hop mapped out like that yet.
But this is gonna work for Angie Rose. It'll work for her.
Why you saying that?
People are gonna look from a different lens. They've already been comparing her to Jennifer Lopez. So
really,
yeah. So I think that she's got a different lens that people are looking in from. And then also, you know, she had this audience that she was building from the work she was doing in the communities. I mean, the free concerts and the missions.
Everybody has a chance, but
crowdsourcing.
it's like it's a lottery ticket. Just because you get signed, you still playing the lottery.
Yeah.
It's not guaranteed that anything is gonna happen.
Yeah,
I've been signed to a record label. It don't mean nothing. Once you get signed, it's just the beginning of a new journey for you.
Right. A new brand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's almost like a reset because everything you were doing by yourself, however you want to do it, that all gets shelved. Now you got to do what they tell you to do.
Yeah, and that's why I think I don't want that for a lot of people, because I feel like it's just you're hearing the sob stories on the other side of the field, and there's like, you don't really want that headache. You know, just keep doing what you do. Make your music. Like, if you all don't do anything, go listen to all the words in the song 2 Week Notice. Like, that was huge. Like, what he said in there was like, man, makes you sit back. Like, if you're going through that, not sleeping at night, feeling like you're saying, if I put God in my music, then you don't even nod your head anymore. It's like that stuff is real.
And that's why we're doing our best to try and build a table, like he said, like where you don't feel like you have to go do this sign thing to do it. Like, you could do it here. Like, we have the infrastructure. It's gonna take time. It's hard, but if everybody works together, it's moving. And some people need to go get signed to get more attention and come back. That's all part of the process. Him getting signed was a great thing. You know what I mean?
Do that.
But now it's like, okay, now let's bring some of that clout back. Let's build this thing up bigger so that when we roll out these new platforms and stuff like that, that's our CBS, that's our Sony, that's our whatever. So you don't need this other thing to help you out.
Dang.
And people forget too, Atlantic, Sony, all these other that we call majors now, they all started out this way. We just don't think we see them as major now because they're like 70 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 80 years old, 100 years. Well, I don't know about 100, but like they're super duper. Well, no, maybe like 100 now.
All these big conglomerates started out as radio stations, and then they added television stations, and they bought movie studios, and then they built this big thing that you're wanting people to go through. We could become that. It's just a lot of work.
Yeah. And relationships, you got to build those. It takes time to build those relationships to where you have a button to push. Like, I'm gonna tell you something. Don't laugh at me. I watched a couple documentaries, like one about Atlantic I found at a public library, but then also like Dreamgirls, man. No, like Dreamgirls will really put the game out there for you and see how it works. Dude went from selling Cadillacs to lining pockets of radio stations to building a record label to selling and presenting, you know what I'm saying, the Dream Girls into this big thing. Now, of course, I think it mirrors Motown, or some elements are like really happen in life, but like that's some of the work that we have to do that we haven't done yet.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's get back into it. You in the field. Oh, just real quick. 1K snapped on that song.
He did.
He snapped on that joint.
killed
That
it.
was my favorite. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
Hey guys, this is Miracle from Trackstarz. I wanted to make sure you all know all about the official Trackstarz universe. If you'd like a free Trackstarz t-shirt, free merch, discount, and direct access to your favorite radio host, then this is for you. Make sure to check out Trackstarz.com.
I just had to make sure we didn't leave without saying that. That was the best verse I've
No, but
ever
I mean, I
heard.
think the topic in itself all came together. Like, it's basically what you're talking about at the end of the mixtape.
This is that brand new music.
Let us switch that over to
Yeah, let me go ahead and throw this. Last time Ryan snapped. Ryan took a nap over
Hey yo, this is a worldwide premiere. Somebody get me 2 throwback jerseys, 2 Nike headbands, and a pair of white forces. Indie Tribe save lives, and make sure when you spell that name, it's all lowercase with a period.
Yo, you go watch Trackstarz live. We met online, and now they all say that we got it. We got more rings than Audis. I'm naughty, my team in the heat like the Saudis. Live in the south with my family from Cali, and shout out to Bay, we don't live in the valley. No, my whole crew look like it's Calico, or maybe a penny.
No, the funny part of that video is
No, I just won't bury my talent, bro. Might be conceited, I give it to Jesus. He told me to drink from his chalice. Told him I'm being mature, I won't sin anymore, and he told me I should be more childish. Whoa. My demons looking depressed. Must have been something I said. Indie Tribe, baby, you know the name of my set. I got it out of the mud. I'm from the sticks. Hunting is just in my blood, and I changed my last name to Fudd. I'm from the 6, 1-5 like in a dozen. 2.
I told y'all what it is, man. Y'all not ready for this. Let's take it to the east side of Atlanta.
Hey, Danny, better things trying to go silly.
I wouldn't mind a no big deal. One take you. What up, RG album?
Let me see you some right quick, boy. We ain't playing with your head, no boy. Trying to get the whole family employed. Boy, you better start working. Got me throwing that east side, you been in that. It's like cap going on night and in that. Spit out, run around where you women at. Who is it? I'm looking up now, feeling that. You trying to come and take the plate, we ain't finished it. Got a Wi-Fi, we ain't paying no internet. Feel like no tech, wet, pimpin' it, man. Never mind my business. Stays in my face with a big blade on me. Couple more years on me, big on me. Gotta thank God for the folks that know me. Just live main on the way to white on me. The same one ain't never been phony. Working all night trying to get a little money. Got a girl, she want my little pony. But I'm like, I can get everything. Trying to get on the train. Got it drip in the drain. They like, where did it rain? And the vision don't change. It's like digging your brain. Cause I'm still with the game. I don't know who you bring. Keeping that DNA in my stomach. I'm planning some day to day on my calendar. They tryna bite the flame.
That's what I love about mixtapes. The verses be nice and long. Need mixtapes. Hopefully come back. That was actually
Carvello made the beat.
You went crazy.
Yeah, he did.
Y'all know what time it is. Ryan Righteous, DJ Jeremiah, Sean Tanner. Time it is. Y'all know what time it is. It's the Billboards. You in the field, boy. It's the Billboards. We in the field, boy. You tuned in and locked. Trackstarz. We beating on your block. Trackstarz, yeah. I'm repping the most high king like mama, I made it. Trackstarz bringing the real, you love it or hate it. Line for line with the kingdom, the secular faded. Yo, what's going on? This your man right here, DJ I Rock Jesus.
You're right in the field with my peoples, Trackstarz. And you know what? Get ready for line for line.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. What's good?
All right, for all things Trackstarz, make sure you go to www.trackstarzwithaz.com. Download our podcast each and every Monday. You can get in on the conversation if you watch us live on YouTube. Now you can actually go to Roku. You can look for Trackstarz. You can watch us live. So it's a great opportunity for you to get in the field with us, all right?
One more big announcement. Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah.
Okay, so I told you...
that was actually really good.
I told you Nectar was going to be making some big moves, man, and I wanted to make sure we did this during Line for Line where everybody watches. You don't have to lie to us. I know it's all about Line for Line.
Don't say that.
So we just signed a deal with NASDAQ Publishing for Nectar. So if you're a Nectar artist, you now have the opportunity to get your songs pushed to movies, television shows, games, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So that's an opportunity that's going to be available for you guys real soon. We just worked out the deal this week. And if y'all know Stanley's the one that runs that company, and he's gotten people deals before. It's crazy stuff. So he is going to be pushing. Of course, you have to submit to it.
Yeah.
You have to have original music, samples, and all that kind of stuff. Because when you play, Jesus, we just submitted for something I can't tell you about. But anyway, when you dealing in that world, you got to own everything, and you have to know who owns what, right? So it's a whole different game. But Stanley's going to be adding some informational things to the website soon, so you can learn more about publishing and how to get placed and all that kind of stuff. So that's a whole nother game. So Nectar, we're trying to make some level up moves over this next year. Some big things coming for Nectar. Maybe a conference. We'll talk more about it as we get closer. But we're really trying to make sure the platform is being created for people right here, so we don't have to leave. So stay tuned to Nectar. You'll be hearing more about it. Check your email if you're not a Universe member. If you're not a Nectar artist, sign up today. Make sure you're in the funnel, so when the stuff comes out, you'll be first in line.
Yeah.
Dope, man. You got the notebook? Steve? No. Okay. Well, okay, so
stole our line for lunch? Oh, okay.
You probably want to give it to him.
Let you do this here.
All right, so today's Line for Line is a throwback Line for Line.
Yeah.
Run DMC and the boys. I'm joking.
What?
Whoa. You could have did that. So good.
You gonna get Corey Red?
That Mobb Deep versus Corey Red Precise is one I have in mind. But I wanted to do this for a while, and I think we couldn't do this one. But I think since things are on the up and up, I think we could do this. So, all right, we're going to get down to it. We got on one side, we have the Watch the Throne people. The Watch the Throne people versus the We Live as Kings people.
So this kind of throwback.
Yeah, this is throwback. Okay. So I've been wanting to do this for a while, but this is good. So the views and opinions of the Trackstarz Universe, not the views and opinions of the artists, the label, producer, and others. If you're offended, you feel like we shouldn't be doing this, you can go ahead and press that stop button. If you never heard of the mainstream artists thinking about checking them out after, please press stop right now. Try not to do the same artists over and over again. If you're personally listening to Christian artists, this ain't your cup of tea. We feel you, man. We got noteworthy topic interviews. We do dope stuff on this channel, so check those joints out. We Live as Kings is not the Christian version of anybody. It's just a bit. So here we go. We're gonna get this bad boy going. We're gonna start this thing off with Watch the Throne. Ham. Here we go.
Ever left about this and if life a bitch suck my and I bet she the whole clique, By the way, you should quit. Just forget it. You talk it, I live it. Like Eli, I did it. Jokes on you, and I get it. No paper, but you can have some more of me. Orgy, or are we speaking metaphorically? Historically, I'm kicking out like.
All right, that was Kanye, but that was Watch the Throne. Ham. This is We Live as Kings. Rain is coming.
Yeah, these boys make me want to throw up. They say they kings, but they really need to grow up. They say they sees a boy with a robe on their shoulders, but all I see is a boy in an oversized toga. We kings, and the alpha is who chose us. Omega was the cue to turn us huge from my odors. Pigs in the fire, but he called us to the coders. drizzle when it grew into a storm. Started as a sizzle when it grew into a fire. I ain't want.
All right, that was We Live as Kings, Reign is Coming versus Watch the Throne, Ham. Who y'all going with?
What you got?
We Live as Kings.
Watch the Throne.
Wow. I need a pen. You ain't got a pen?
I'm doing it on here. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, cool.
You doing it? I trust you. All right, where we at?
He said, Watch the Throne. He said, We Live as Kings.
What you got?
I got We Live as Kings.
We Live as Kings. I am going to toss it because I was doing stuff. What you got?
Early.
First one. What you got?
I have toss.
Toss. What you got?
I could toss, but it's too early. So I'll give it to We Live as Kings.
3-2.
All right, so 3-2. We Live as Kings. Going to the second round.
All right, here we go. We're going to get to the... Okay, you found the pen. All right, we get to the second round. We're going to start off with We Live as Kings. This is called King and Me. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm finna show y'all what epic is. Instead of treating the richest we got as poor, we was killing it for the Lord. I show y'all what record is. Co-heirs with the Christ of heaven, the lion and the lamb, ferocious, precious genetics here. Our DNA is that we can say he is with us. Who cares who's up against us? It's nothing that we should ever fear. So don't be bound by the pain and live life like you're dead. Cause that crown is bloodstained. It's a price on your head.
Sorry. That was not where they were going. All right, so here we go. That was it just threw me off, man. All right, that was King and Me. This is Watch the Throne, Illest Alive.
Now minis was got staples on my staples. Why? No six in the foes. And I swear to God, they so cold. Got a daddy in Miami wearing winter clothes. I got my fur on, feeling like Jerome. She got a fur too, we get eyes in her on. Don't look at the jewelry or get your blur on. Too close to comatose, so dope you overdose. Get back, you over close. Load.
All right, that was the Illest Alive versus King and Me. We Live as Kings. Who y'all going with?
What you got?
I'm gonna go with We Live as Kings, man.
What you got?
Watch the Throne.
What you got?
Watch the Throne.
I got We Live as Kings. What you got?
I have We Live as Kings. First one. That's We Live as Kings.
Okay. What you got?
I'll go Watch the Throne.
4-3.
Who?
We Live as Kings.
We Live as Kings. So what's the overall?
Is he writing it now?
7-5.
I mean, who's winning overall?
We Live as Kings got both of them.
Okay, 2-0. All right, cool.
All right, so we'll start off with We Live as Kings first. Called Arena. You said it's 2-0? Yeah. 2-0. We Live as Kings. We go We Live as Kings first. Arena. Here we go.
They came to see me, I want them seeking you. The world's a microscope, they watching everything I do. Everything I say, every set I play. I got my head down, praying I don't go astray. That I never fall, that I never turn. See lightning strike, crash and burn. I'm in this airplane, dodging the clouds. On this narrow path, dodging the crowds. Running from trends, seeing my friends turn to enemies. They slither like centipedes. 100.
All right, that was We Live as Kings Arena. This is Watch the Throne, Murder to Excellence.
On black everything, you know my fresh coat. My fighting for you, don't increase my stress though. Watching the throne, very happy to be you. Power to the people, when you see me, see you.
And I'm from the murder capital where they murder for capital. Heard about at least 3 killings this afternoon. Looking at the news like mama was just with them after school. No shop class, but had the school got a tool. And I could die any day type attitude. Plus his little brother got shot repping his avenue. It's time for us to stop and redefine black power.
All right, that was Watch the Throne, Murder to Excellence versus We Live as Kings Arena. Who y'all going with?
Watch the Throne.
Throne. What you got?
Watch the Throne.
Throne. What you got?
Watch the Throne.
Throne. I got Throne. That was way better. And I'm still salty they stole my sample. I had a beat that I made that sample to who made that song?
Who beat is that?
You don't know that sample? Oh man. I'll come back. I'll look it up. What you got?
Same one as you.
Okay. Watch the
Watch the
Throne.
Throne.
What you got? Throne, what you got?
Same one as you. Actually, I wouldn't mind tying it up here, but I like both of them though, because that arena joint that was tough. And
You don't know where that song? You don't know the song that comes from?
That's your song.
That's what I'm saying. What's the song?
I know it's Hill Song United. I can't remember.
Oh, it's because
With Everything.
Yeah,
that joint. Oh man.
Yeah, that joint hard.
I used that in a sample, and then right after I finished the beat, I heard that song. I love
that.
it.
Don't you suck when that happens? Murder to Excellence though. The la la la's in that is fire too. So
the la la la's.
The la la la's.
It ain't with everything though. that joint take you somewhere.
So I will go with
unanimous.
Watch the Throne.
Unanimous.
The wash.
So Watch the Throne is coming back. Is it 2-1 now? All right, man. We're gonna start off with Watch the Throne. No Church in a While.
On a black skin, made it stripe like a zebra. I call that jungle fever. You on that control, the threesome. Just roll the weed up until I get me some. We formed a new religion. No sins as long as there's permission. And deception is the only felony. To never f nobody without telling me. Sunglasses and Advil. Last night was mad real. Sun coming up 5 a.m.
All right, that was No Church in a While by Watch the Throne. This is We Live as Kings. Imagine.
I daydream, but then I wake up to the smell of the top dog. And hell shell cell, they developing hot bars. But if they so hot, y'all, then why ain't they melting the locks off? And seldom do we help them, cause we felt them, then drop jaws. Amazement, we paid them, propel them to top charts. Encore, put our Lion King in the cages. We privately entertain the elephant in the room. Pop culture's popcorn religion. Got all the Christian rappers trying to be rock stars. Admit it, will not, stop, pause, and listen. It's not art commission without cause of.
All right, that was We Live as Kings. Imagine versus New Church in a While by Watch the Throne. Y'all going with?
Watch the Throne. It's like the son versus the dad, man. You gotta go with the OG.
Dang, you real today, huh?
What you got?
I'm going We Live as Kings.
What you got?
I also got We Live as Kings.
I got Watch the Throne on that one. What you got? Kings.
I got
Throne. King of the Throne.
Oh, King of the Throne. King of the Throne.
That's what we know.
Yeah, I know what it says. I will say.
You know that could preach.
We Live as Kings.
That could preach.
Oh.
What's important to you? Is it the king or the throne? Do you want the glory or the glory giver? Which one do you want? You know. Anyway, go ahead. What you got? Kings. All right.
So Kings.
It's
3-1.
It's kind of mixed online.
That's funny. Makes me proud of my decision.
So what is it overall? 3-1. Okay.
All right, here we go. This is what, number 5, round 5. All right, we're gonna start off. Who did we start off last one? Okay, we start off with We Live as Kings first. All in, here we go.
Blood full of love, resolute, we never budge. Real king bended knee, I'm telling y'all, he far above. Bet big, faith high, pride low, we die. Every day we guillotine, heads roll, no lie. Got a full house over here, call my bluff. Chips looking low, I don't think you got enough. Nah, you ain't got enough, no betting against the team. Yeah, the dealer cut a deal, my hand is pretty mean. But still way above the mean, and the deck extra tight. Ain't no getting in between, no breaking up the fam.
All right, that was We Live as Kings. All in. Here's Watch the Throne.
Shoot fresh, looking like wealth. I'm about to call a paparazzi on myself. Live from the Mercer. Run up on Yeezy the wrong way, I might murk it. Flee in the G450, I might surface. Political refugee asylum can be purchased. Everything's for sale. Got 5 passports, I'm never going to jail. I made Jesus walk, I'm never going to hell. Couture level flow is never going on sale. Luxury rap, the Hermes of verses. Sophisticated ignorance, write my curses and curses.
All right, that was Watch the
I don't
Throne.
think Miracle's ever heard this before.
Oh, I know she was vibing like
jamming.
All in, We Live as Kings. We know what Miracle going with.
You know that Otis song sounds like Follow God. It's the same vibe. Video too.
Mm-hmm.
What you got?
Watch the Throne.
Watch the Throne. What you got?
Toss.
What you got?
I gotta
Watch the Throne. Watch the Throne. What you got? Throne. The comeback is real.
Mm-hmm. And you still holding out.
I know what's coming up.
I know
though.
it's at least one. You got
He
one
let
trump
one
card.
slip, so I know what's coming up.
Yeah, he know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? 3-2?
Yeah, 3-2.
All right, here we go. We live as who y'all want to go first? We live as kings.
You gotta let them go first like 4 times.
Yeah.
Who we live as kings?
Yeah.
Let them go first.
Like you got a favorite.
Watch the Throne. Let's do Watch the Throne. Let's go.
No,
So-
saying you've done him.
You've done We Live as Kings a lot first.
Oh, so you want Watch the Throne to go
Yeah.
first? Okay, that's what I'm asking. All right, here we go. Watch the Throne in Paris.
There it is.
Niggas wanna find me, but first you gotta find me. What's 50 grand to a motherfucker like me? Can you please remind me? Ball so hard, this shit crazy. Y'all don't know that don't phase. The next we go 0 for 82 when I look at you like you the gravy. Ball so hard, where we ain't even pro be here. Ball so hard since we here. It's only right that we be fair. Psycho, I'm liable to go Michael. Take your pick. Jackson, Tyson, Jordan. Game 6. Ball so hard, got a broke clock.
All right, that was Watch the Throne in Paris. Here's We Live as Kings, Yahweh.
To wreck that's heinous, there's only one who's famous. Our king here is blameless, no Brian, no Michael. That bank account can't change this. You dumb, you psycho. Haha, they say I'm loco cause I see but never seen him. That living water got me flooding, boy, I never seen him. That's EM, that's no why. He first place, that's no tie. I'm edging neck, that's bow tie. You want the crown, boy, don't try. That's futile and you can't win. He heavyweight, you wait then. When you hit the throne with your sin, tell me what you say then. See, he's a holy God.
All right, that was We Live as Kings, Yahweh in Paris. Watch the Throne.
All right.
It was a
What we
good
doing?
effort. It was a good effort, but we're gonna watch the Throne, man.
Nah.
Good
We
job.
Live as Kings.
Good effort.
Yep.
What you got?
We Live as Kings.
What you got?
I gotta toss that one.
Toss.
Ah.
Man, who made the beat? Because I don't trust Kanye to do something like that.
I think
Who-
Hit Boy
Kanye
did that.
made
Okay.
that, bro.
Yeah. Huh?
I thought it was Hit Boy.
I thought it was Kanye.
Nah,
I
that
thought
don't
he did,
sound like
all
it.
the production.
Nah, I don't.
He has as
I'm
much-
sure he had influence on it, but that
Yeah.
don't sound like Kanye. That
I think that
sound-
was Hit Boy.
That sound like somebody that's 808s first. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they think beat first. That drum pattern was
Did somebody
crazy.
Google search who did in Paris with Jay-Z and Kanye?
Yeah, I got Watch the Throne. What you got?
We live as kings.
We Live as Kings. What you got? Throne. What you got?
This is my toss going.
All right, what's online?
Because that one was hard for me.
I said Throne.
Even though I like In Paris, but when I heard Yahweh, I was like,
It was
the beat on
good.
Yahweh
It was-
sucked.
Yeah, it was really good.
What is it?
We got 3-2. Watch the Throne.
Oh man, so it matters, y'all. I don't know. Some of y'all voted. Some of y'all voted before this thing started. So
Yeah,
I don't
that's what I
know.
thought. Hit
Yeah, that
Boy.
was dirty. That was real
So
dirty.
I need to know where we at. I see a
was
lot
real
of.
dirty.
I see a lot of We Live as Kings.
You got to scroll down.
Risha said it was Hit Boy.
The producers were Hit Boy, Kanye, West, Mike Dean, and Anthony Kilhofer.
Mike Dean is a
Yeah,
beast too.
Mike Dean is always on his stuff.
But Hit Boy was probably made the drums.
That the way it drops,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's professional.
It's professional.
It's professional.
But it's something on Watch the Throne, though. I would say when you listen to the album, it's very demonic.
It is.
It's
I
a
mean,
very
the whole
demonic.
Church in the Wild is demonic.
Yeah, it is a very demonic album because there's a part where you hear like this like carousel music type. Dun, dun, dun. It was like real creepy and then
Sound detuned. And
it's real. And then the certain subject matters when they was talking, you were like,
I mean, the whole Church in the Wild song is
Yeah.
all demon stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody said it's Watch the Throne online, but I don't know. I see a lot of We Like in here. If we take their word for it, what does that do?
if it's tied up.
We Live as Kings, and it's
Oh, let's go to round 7. Yeah.
Oh, so it's a 7.
I wasn't expecting around 7, but I got one.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Dang, Jeremiah, what's that supposed to mean?
I wasn't expect. I mean, I didn't think it was gonna go to
Who'd you,
around
Dang,
7.
who'd you
Jeremiah.
think was gonna win?
I didn't know, but I didn't think it was gonna go to around
You
7.
had to have thought somebody was gonna
Dang.
win.
I didn't know it was going to around 7. I
He
gotta tell
knew.
y'all.
He knew.
I know we live around heathens. I'm joking. All right, here we go. We're gonna. Who y'all want to start it off? Since it's a 3-3, who y'all want to start off? Start
We
off
Live
with
as Kings.
We Live as Kings.
Yeah.
Collectively. All right, here we go. We Live as Kings, Long Way Down. Here we go.
My life, accepting my plight, believing in your lies. But it didn't add up, divided truth, deception multiplies. My eyes, he reached down and grabbed the mud. I cried when I understood his love. Then my crying turned to laughter, and I realized soon after that the fear and pose was just a pose. You were not a factor, but an actor. At the final scene, you won't be around. You and death won't make a sound. It's a long way.
All right, that was We Live as Kings, Long Way Down. Here's Watch the Throne, Why I Love You.
And they want me dead. Well, I'm sorry, but I just can't die for you. But I can make them put their hands in the sky for you. We wait for the fireworks like you fly for. Get fly more, get high more. Cry more, why for? When the grief is over, beef is over. I'll be fly when East is over. I try to teach niggas how to be kings, and all they ever wanted to be was soldiers. So the love is gone, the blood is strong, cause we no longer wear the same uniform. Few squares, the circle got smaller, the castle got bigger, the walls got taller, and truth be told, after all that said, niggas.
All right, that was Why I Love You. Long Way Down, round 7, no toss-ups. Where we going?
What you got?
You said no toss-up? Man, that's, I go We Live as Kings. Yeah.
We Live as Kings.
Watch the Throne.
Really?
I got Watch the Throne.
Listen.
No, I was listening.
Okay. That's, to me, that's We Live as Kings. Easy. I mean, I don't even remember that song because nothing really happened in it. Nothing happened in the song, the Jay-Z song. It was just like a build-up to nothing. What you got?
Oh, wow.
Kings. What you got? Kings. They got it.
They won.
4-3.
Yeah.
Whew, close. That's another one. Kanye, if you're listening, I stole that from you know what I'm talking about Dead End Hip Hop.
Yeah.
Kanye, if you're listening, go get Swoop and go get No Big Deal to help you with this next album. That's the crew you need right there. That's his lane.
Production too.
Yeah, that's your lane. I wouldn't even say like a J Monty because J Monty that's a little too lyrical and people wouldn't believe it. These two guys are right up your alley. You see what I'm saying? Like where it's humorous, it's witty, it's metaphor galore. Like that's what he needs for the next to replace the old people. Yeah.
Or Andy.
Andy could do it too. Andy's that vibe. That's that vibe. I didn't think of Andy, but
I think
Swoop
he would have
perfect.
Yeah, Swoop is like the best puzzle piece to fit in.
I'm gonna be quiet.
You don't think so? You want to do it?
No. I was just saying.
We've been pointing at the camera all day. Keep
going.
Say something.
No. I'm just saying like. so I mean, to me, most of what comes out of the Midwest of after like 2005 is Kanye heavily influenced. You know what I mean? So it's like to say that like they're perfect for it, it's like you kind of raised them. So
okay.
Oh, so that's his, well. I mean, Swoop did.
I'm a product of that Kanye generation too, but I know how to write for him too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's dope. It wasn't a negative statement. It was like I didn't want to keep pushing the dad-son narrative because that could get disrespectful.
No, but Swoop did say. I remember when we did. We interviewed him. And I asked the question when we was doing like a fire round, and he was like, I asked him, Food and Liquor or College Dropout, and what he said. You remember what he said? I think he was like Food and, I think he chose Food and Liquor. I can't remember which one he chose, but you could tell.
What are you talking about? Swoop?
Yeah,
Swoop metaphor wise is. I mean, we're talking about Kanye, right?
Yeah.
So Kanye vibe wise is Swoop all day. Lyric wise is Lupe. That's
so I just think he sees the influence of both of them.
Yeah.
Being him, especially being from Ohio in the Midwest. So you're right.
He's actually my wife's like closest childhood friend.
Oh really? Yeah, I mean, to me, that's a great combo, man. If you got the vibe of a Kanye, lyrics of a Lupe, I mean, that's a rare breed right there.
Yeah. So, but I would say, do you think? I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, do you think a phone call from Jay-Z would flip Kanye?
No.
They
turn him out.
Not turn him out, but like I'm just saying, like a call, like yo, let's get this Watch the Throne thing back together. Would you think it would be happening?
No.
I think they tried that already.
I mean, what are you saying? Like, why? You're saying he
test
shouldn't do
Christianity.
that?
That's what you're doing. He's testing his Christianity.
But you're
I'm just saying, do you think that could happen?
But you're saying if Kanye did that, he would start saying crazy stuff again?
That's what I'm. scared for, but that's what I'm asking. No.
I think they should reconcile. I do believe that.
No, but I mean, like, I think, like, even before the album came out, Jesus King album, like, earlier this year, he was trying to do a watch. He tweeted something like, yo, Watch the Throne, like, 2 or whatever, you know what I mean? So I was just asking that question.
Would it be wrong for him to do that?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
You think so?
I think so.
It depends on what he's saying on it. It depends on what Kanye is
I
saying
think
on it.
Because what if it's the concept of, like you always talk about, where somebody's saying this is my opinion, and then he's saying the opposite, and it's like a battle on the same record of.
Because I always had the idea for the clips. Like, the clips should do a conscious album where it's like one person is like one side. I mean, Pusha T is coming from the street perspective, and then No Malice comes with the real. What's the verdict to what's going to happen to that?
I can see that.
But I don't know that what happened with Kanye and Jay-Z. So that would be interesting. Just
Interesting. So are you gonna do the Kanye versus Kanye?
If people want it, Maya thinks the old Kanye will win immediately.
Yeah. Oh,
He
yeah.
has a
If you
bigger
do the
body
whole
of work.
Yeah, old Kanye has a lot of albums.
Yeah.
So which album are you gonna do?
So would you want? So you think it should be album versus album?
I think if you did Ye versus Jesus King, it would have a shot. If you did what's it called? Yeezus against Jesus King, it would have a shot.
Clear dichotomy.
Yeah.
I'm just
so
saying.
my beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy stay far away from that.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
Yeah. It's just some of them. It's just it got too many hits on it. Like, you know what I mean?
College Dropout is another.
College
unfair.
Dropout.
And all his first three just.
Yeah, Graduation is unfair.
I don't like Graduation, so do Graduation. but even Graduation, the music on Graduation is crazy. So that's where it will lose. But I would say do Ye. I mean, they're both short.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So old Ye versus new Ye. Okay,
there you go.
Maybe
You can almost pick something off Pablo.
Pablo would kill it though. I'm gonna be honest. if he would have made the gospel album and it was Pablo and he really did it for real, that album is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
If he really went all the way, like if he had this conversion a couple years earlier, Pablo would have been his best album ever.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the music on there is incredible.
Yeah, it is. It
Jesus
really is.
showed up a little earlier, huh?
I mean, or you surrender earlier. If he would have surrendered earlier, that's why you got to get on it, man. Like don't delay.
Yeah.
Don't delay. When the Spirit calls, man,
Sing for your talent.
you missed the greatest album of all time because you was halfway doing it.
Slack not thy writing.
You know what I'm saying? Ultra light beams, and if he would have stayed on that track,
Yeah.
come on now.
Majority of those songs could have been flipped. Because Father Stretch My Hands to me is one of the most. Like the hook to that is a worship song to me. Like when you first heard that, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
But
Then-
that's a consequence.
Then I
Like
this motto, I was like, come on, dude.
if you would have surrendered early, man, like that would have been his greatest project ever. Greatest.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really the only thing wrong with that project.
You're in the field.
I'm serious, man. Like, don't listen to it, but if you listen to it, like every time he comes on, it's like, come on, man, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
If he would have had this kind of content on that album, it would have been flawless. That joint is amazing, music wise. Anyway, you in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tan, and DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
Alpha, comma, omega, comma, the pioneer. Alpha, comma, omega, comma, the Yahweh is the.
We are coming back. You can listen to us live right after the show ends.
You said your wife is good friends with Swoop?
She like his brother.
Like
his brother. Like her brother.
So you know Swoop? Like,
Yeah, we live 2 blocks away.
oh wow. He did say that. Wow, worlds are small. You ain't trying to get him on the record? Wow.
We're not there yet. I'll put it to you this way, man. I was raised a different breed and I ain't never been, you know what I'm saying, associated. Like if it's something that's gonna be legit, like you was the homie. When he got signed, I didn't drop the record yet for love. Because I ain't want to do like everybody else.
You got one with him?
I had him and K on the It's over.
Can we hear it now?
Shake and bake remix.
What's that name?
It's called Shake and Bake Remix. With me, 1K Fuse, and K Allen.
Oh wow. I'd love to hear that.
This is
You don't have to drop it on the radio. I just want to hear it.
You can. It was Matter of fact, that was when K. Alico just got signed. It was just before he got signed to God Over Money. And then Few had, that was like a couple months before. He told me he was talking with them, but it was before he actually got officially signed with them. Yeah, it's still online. I thought about taking it on. Yep. I ain't dropped it for a long time, huh?
You never promoted it?
Nah. I don't know, man. Maybe something wrong with me, but like I just
don't want to be that.
I didn't want to be, because everybody dropped the 1K record when he played that.
1K is a hard worker though, so if somebody told me, because I think what people don't realize is like Spotify is one of those things is whatever's new from that artist is gonna come up immediately.
Yeah, but then too it's like that was the homie for real. So it's like and everybody else who was dropping it, like I'm not saying that they wasn't the homie, but like they weren't learning. You know what I'm saying? So it's like.
But I think it's good for him. I think it's good to have as many projects released with him on it as possible, because he's trying to build a new fan base. So, you know,
no, but I get you feel like you're the I want to work hard, and so when I get to the place I need to get to, people can't say I did this, I did that.
Yeah, like I wasn't trying to ride the coattail. You know what I'm saying? Like he even asked me like, "Boy, where you drop it? Like we supposed to shoot a video." Matter of fact, he recorded his verse for the video because it's remix, and like it had a little bit of buzz around the King Jones thing, Free Life Church and all that. So maybe I'm weird.
I don't think that's weird.
Maybe I'm too honest for my own good.
Trying to fit his sovereignty. The supreme judge is supreme justice. For the grace sitting outside of time, he just is. Supreme was, is, and also coming. On the clouds,
you got it out.
blowing
You should
loud,
believe this.
stunting.
You just didn't really
I
feel
just say it all.
like
Right, I released the power 6 months ago.
you should have been to the video and everything, bro. They sounded like to me though.
That's why I put them first and last.
Oh wow.
Is this it? What Ryan's listening to?
I don't know much about Trippie Redd. I'm still trying to figure out going that route because I don't know if too many people really know.
That's what I mean by fall off. I don't know.
What's K. Alico's real name?
Wallace.
Man, I've been looking for it in my phone. I can't remember what it was.
Wallace Frontier. He done changed his name like 3 times.
Like Lightning?
K. Alico. K. Alico. Now King Alico.
Yeah.
From T-Strike to K. Alico. K. Alico.
I'm talking about the government name, because I put it in my phone and couldn't remember what it was.
Wallace Frontier.
What are people talking
We
about?
did a lot for long with him.
I feel like a lot of times it's just like
Who did we do on KQ line for long
which I
with?
mean, I get sometimes that's not bad, but
I can't remember that.
everything you're
Was it
saying
A
is
Boogie?
fluff.
And Boogie was with King Alico. That's what I'm thinking of. You know who King Alico is? No. Listen to him.
Also, like, there was a time when,
Oh, this one is nice. Put it on hard.
Rapzilla laughed at me.
But that's assuming that you
I was still
have
fragile.
resources to do that.
So I took what they said to heart and I ain't pushing it.
What'd they say?
That was like it was
I
trash.
agree with
That was
that.
like my verse
I
was trash.
enjoy-
It was like 1K when delivered. Beat was trash. And my verse was trash.
Oh, they
The reason
must
I
be
came to
crazy.
Christian hip
Who
hop
on rap
was
will say
because
that?
of content.
and then like I
Obi
just
and
recently
Michael.
dove
I
Obi,
didn't come
Michael,
just
and
for.
Mike
it
L.
was
B?
off of
If I didn't care about the lyrics, I wouldn't listen.
which I know them. I got this
I would
with both
listen
of
to
them.
RG shout out.
If I was not paying attention to the song.
Wait, Mike L. B?
I hadn't heard of him.
I don't listen to
I did not know who RG was.
Where was this? When they reviewed it? On one of those Friday nights?
This is my last year. But here's the funny thing. I gave them a
Because I
choice.
had known about
I gave them a choice of 2 songs to pick. I
I've
gave
never
them
really
some Lion of Lamb,
I went that route.
which at the time had just Billboard chart.
There are a few
Or the
people, but I
that song.
don't.
I was like,
It's not
whichever one
like
y'all choose,
I'll
I'm
listen
okay.
to
John Keys is one of my
I
favorite
baited them because I knew they was gonna pick the one with all the big names, the big
But
COS names. Like,
If
I know about
streaming
2 years old. Like 2 or 3 years old. It sounds shady.
I like listening to them more every single
But they pick it.
It's not right.
You gonna play my music?
You got music?
But they're not in my playlist.
There's another guy named Tell Time. He sounds just like
So,
I got 6 songs.
so yeah, that's why for me,
I like
I stopped listening to Christian hip hop because I don't feel like it.
But I just don't know. It's called Overtime.
Worship music.
They produce it.
Worship.
What's your rap name?
It's more
Then I got one
God
that's got
focused.
we got Nate. We got Byron Jawan on the hook. I don't know if you know
And
about
that's,
the
I think,
Rich
what our Christian hip hop should have that intention. Why do you have the word Christian in front of your name?
So it's got all that one's hard. Lil Scotia's up to